What's going on, guys? Today we are having a sale March 27th from now until 11:59 p.m. Eastern. And we are going to do 20% off brand wear and lifting gear at hosstile.com. So I'm just going to show you guys really quick. If you go to hosstile.com, check out the brand wear here, click on brand wear. You see all our good styles. We have our new women's cropped hoodies. We have our new crew necks. We have all the original styles that everybody loves: hoodies, t-shirts, tanks, shorts, pants, hats, oversized tees, raglans. We have everything you guys could want for clothing and brand wear. And then accessories, if you go to lifting gear, these will also be 20% off. We have our compression sleeves. These are not neoprene, but they are a compression sleeve. And then we have our heavy duty lifting straps and wrist straps and our normal wrist straps. And then we have our padded lifting straps. These are really comfortable. So it's all here, man. Check it out today. Till 11:59 Eastern tonight. Use code BB20 and get 20% off all that great stuff. Check it out, guys. Hi, James.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
You look like you just woke up. But it's
no, I just got back from legs. So it's the same.
That's yeah.
It's the same shit. Yeah. Just got back from quads, man.
So before everybody comes on, I wanted to talk to you about something that has gone a little bit viral. Oh well, we can't. I guess we have to add. I guess Ben's here too. Ben, what's up, man? Can you hear us? Ben?
Yeah.
You there?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Let me just close my blinds for 1 second, just to make it a little bit more
intimate. Hey, Ben, can you see this right here? I've been training with Paul all week. He has not said.
There we go.
I've been training with Paul all week. He hasn't said
bright
anything.
in your eyes.
You there?
Yeah, can hear now.
So I've been training. Oh wait, Paul's here too. 1 sec. We were going to get intimate, but I guess since everybody's here now, we'll just
intimate with everybody.
Let's see how long it takes Paul to get on here.
I'm on right
there you go. There he is.
I can hear you.
He's in.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Paul, turn your screen down a bit. You look like I can just see the top of your head here.
Okay, sorry.
There you go. Perfect.
You doing, Paul?
I put my glasses on. Hang on.
There we go.
Now I can see you guys clear. Hey, James.
How you doing, Paul? You right?
Good. Yourself? Hey, Ben.
Do you hear the love in Paul's voice when he says, "Hey, James"?
And Ben. I haven't seen Ben.
No, it's not the same for Ben. If I was Ben, I'd
don't fucking lie.
Yeah, but wait. Me and Paul have the same love that you two have.
Do you? Is that why? Okay.
Mutual admiration.
Exactly.
I have equal love for everybody. All right, so Paul's been training with me all week. He hasn't seen this yet. Have you? Can you guys see this right here?
Yeah, a little wound.
I saw it.
Why didn't you say anything?
I just assumed your dog did it.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody.
Right?
Yeah, you're right. Somebody commented on the last. I put up the podcast with Terrence, Seth, and Ross, and somebody's like, "Did you get punched in the face?" No, I haven't been in any fights. My dog. We were fucking around. We were on the bed messing around, wrestling, and he fucking took a swipe at my face. So.
You were fucking your wife and the dog got
I was
jealous.
banging my wife and the dog jumped on the bed and yeah, he fucked up my face.
This is why you have to kick him out.
So I did that poll, by the way. I don't know if you saw the results, but it was like
what was the results? Yeah, what was it?
26% leave their animals in the room and 74% were like, fuck no, they gotta get out.
So quarter.
But I do have to preference it with one thing. Or reference whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. If your animal is uncontrollable and jumps on the bed, then yes,
gets excited.
Definitely have to get them out of the room.
Yeah.
But I think if your animal is, lays in his own bed and just minds his own business, then I don't think there's a problem. I still stick to my guns.
Yeah, but if Denise had that rule, I'd be kicked out of the bed too.
Just lay there.
Was this a question about a dog in your bed while you're having sex?
Yeah, it came up on one of the podcasts. So I said something. Ben and Ian were fucking making fun of me behind my back, and they were saying that. I bet you Fouad leaves his dog in the room while he's having sex.
And we were right.
So they asked me, and I said, yeah, I do, because he just lays in his bed in the corner and doesn't bother us. So I don't like
licks his balls while he's watching.
Paul, what do you think? What do you think about this?
No, I don't think it's weird at all. The dog does know what's going on.
That's right.
I mean, it's one thing the dog.
Having Paul substantiate your argument does nothing for you. Just saying.
You know what I thought is weird about it? Paul thinks it's weird that I wash my dog in the shower, but he doesn't think it's weird that my dog's in the room while I'm having sex. I think that's a strange conundrum that we can't, like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're either all in or all out. It's just
Well, in the second, when the dog's in the room when you're having sex, the dog's not involved in what you're doing in the shower.
So you're saying because he's in the shower with me, that's too involved.
And you're watching him and stuff, and he's licking you,
He's not licking me.
Well, dogs like water, so.
I do have a little confession. Actually, it's happened yesterday. I was getting ready to shower, and I left my my towel's hung up like away from the shower when it's drying.
Yeah.
So I got in the shower. I'm like, oh, fuck! Like, get out of the shower, go get it. Well, Phoenix is like walking around.
Yeah.
So I bend down to get my towel. I'm like, the fuck? He's like, reached up and grabbed my cock. I'm like, oh. I'm like, no. He goes pee pee, because I taught him where his pee pee was. Like when he
said it looks the same as mine, Dad. He's like,
that's about the same.
Yeah.
No, he goes, like when he has a shower, he gets out and I always go, Phoenix, where's your pee pee? And he goes, and grabs it. And Denise goes mad at me, but it's like the funniest thing ever. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, Denise, get him out of the fucking shower.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's worse with girls.
Yeah. I could imagine. Fuck.
Yeah, I'd be really careful nowadays.
That's got to be strange, eh?
Yeah, but especially.
I'm not trying to be perverted anyway. I'm just
but yeah.
I'm being serious. Like, so as a dad, what how long do you bath your kids before you're like, okay, you're a girl, I can't?
The bathing stuff, the bathing stuff. Tony mostly did that stuff all along. You know, I didn't like doing the bath stuff too much. But no, I gotta be careful when I'm coming out of the shower,
Oh yeah.
And especially our bedroom connects with the bathroom upstairs, and then the kids' room is like across, so it's easy for me to get out of the bedroom, jump in the shower, and then I forget they're in there or something, so I gotta be very careful nowadays that they're getting a little bit older. Yeah,
well, you're not careful while you're having sex, so I mean, getting out of the shower.
I am now.
After they caught you like 3 times.
yeah. You'll learn. You learn those locks on the
door. Look, James, I thought you would appreciate this. So this is my old keyboard. I spilled coffee in it twice.
Okay.
It still works, which is surprising. But I got a new keyboard, so I thought you'd appreciate that.
Let me have a look.
Went out of my way to. Oh, you can't even see it.
It's like a Mac one, isn't it?
Well, they're both Mac ones. This one's the new like space age one, so it's a darker gray.
Let me show you mine.
I didn't want to pay the extra money for the.
Oh shit, I can't actually pull mine out. It's too fucking tight. But let me get that.
Oh, you got yours like lit up and shit.
Got lights and shit, bro. What are you saying, bro?
Can you turn that off, or is it like always lit up?
It's always lit up.
Oh, I don't know if I'd like that. Like at nighttime, if I'm working, I don't think I'd want the neon in my face.
I got all the neon. I got like lights behind me and shit.
I feel like your key travel is too thick, though. There's too much key travel.
Nah, fuck off.
Look, show us again. Show us again. It looks like an old typewriter.
He's got a deep key. Yeah.
Oh, that keyboard as well, like we said.
Oh, you actually play? You don't actually see. Look how deep the keys go. Your like fingers get stuck in there.
They're mechanical. They're good. Yeah, they got this.
Now, you know what? When I used to have that old keyboard, there'd all be crumbs like deep in those grooves.
Yeah. Get all messy shit.
Can you read that?
Fuck off. What is that for? Is that to like
when the light's on? When the light's on, don't come in.
Oh, okay. Nice.
If I turn that light on, if I put that on, and Yannicka walks in behind me, she just turns around and walks back out.
Awesome.
I'd have it on all the time. Never off.
It's when I don't want to be spoken to.
Wait a minute. What's the keyboard for? Do you actually play that?
Yeah, when I make music. I've used to make music back in the day, but I haven't done it in a while.
What the fuck, James? You're like an onion, man. I just keep peeling layers.
Yeah, but I'm not amazing by any means. Put it that way.
So you play, but you don't really like. It's like I have a drum set, but I can't play it for shit.
I can make instrumentals because I can use software, but I can't. Yeah. I'm not like someone that can play a nice song.
Oh, okay, I see.
But I can create stuff from scratch. Yeah, I've got all the software on my PC and stuff.
So it's like GarageBand for Mac, where you just like play and it like records your keys.
Yeah, but normally to be fair, most of the time I will actually draw them in myself. So I'll actually like go on like a piano reel and draw them in myself and make melodies from doing that rather than playing it myself. I only use this when I'm like trying to find the key I want. So if I'm sitting there and I'm pressing the keys, I'm like, yeah, that's what I want.
Oh,
And then I'll
okay.
look. It'll highlight the key on the So
Paul, you don't have Paul. How come we don't have the patience for this kind of stuff?
All right. I try playing with my kids' organ once in a while. I get bored of it after 45 seconds.
Kids' organ. What is it? A church? It's a keyboard.
look.
Their
I've got
organ.
There's a
James
PS5.
got fucking.
PS5
Ooh,
What the
Ooh,
fuck?
Oh,
speakers.
oh, wow.
You got an entire
Oh, that's
setup.
my new
You do-
beats.
You do a lot of gaming though, eh, James? Is that why you got such a sweet setup?
Yeah, I do like it. I literally any of my spare time is gaming.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
To be honest.
Me and Paul don't have patience for any, like, we work out and that's it.
Yeah, you know, I started
You don't
playing a
have,
little bit.
do you have any other hobbies, Paul? Anything else other than smoke a weed?
Like I grow weed.
Then you're farming.
I like doing shit around the house.
Yeah, but like cleaning is not like part of
No,
it. It's not like a hobby.
I hate doing shit around the house.
Yeah, I don't mind doing some stuff.
I do nothing.
Depends
Yeah,
what it
I
is.
think-
Like I don't have any talents, so I don't like build anything. But I don't know. You know, I do some stuff around here.
My wife said she wanted a massage the other day, and I was like, I hate giving fucking massages. I was like,
Yeah. Unless it's gonna lead to sex. Unless it's gonna lead to sex, I don't like doing them either.
it never leads to sex. It's just a massage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I was like, and she's always complaining about cleaning the house. So I'm like, maybe I should get a maid that can give you a massage. And she goes, that would be a great idea. I said, can the maid jerk me off too? And she's like, no. And I'm like, well, how come you get your needs met and I don't get my needs met?
Yeah.
I'm like, if the maid cleans the house and gives you a massage, then you're happy. What do I get?
Yeah.
What,
yeah.
is she allowed a male masseuse to come bang her then?
She doesn't want that. She doesn't want that.
Yeah,
Depends on
fuck,
that.
simple.
Hey, it depends. She hasn't seen the male masseuse yet. She might change her fucking mind, man. She might get some big old jack guy with the old throw hawk come back in, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I remember those days."
It's funny though, you know, a relationship has progressed so much. I don't think I could have had that conversation with my wife 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It would have turned into like an argument. Like,
Slap.
like,
That's
yeah,
slap in the
why'd
mouth.
you say that? But I think we're so far along now that I can make those dumb jokes, and she's like,
Yeah, you're like, I'm joking.
Yeah. Just put LOL at the end.
yeah, then it makes it all okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
listen, so there's a viral photo going around that I thought we should discuss briefly.
Bodybuilding related. Oh. He's packed a sock in that. I'm sorry. That's no James.
James,
That is no.
What-
That's all James. That's all James. No, I'm just trying to.
That's all British beef right there.
what the fuck? What'd you
It
do,
is funny.
James? You fluff it before you took the picture? Or what?
It's just whenever I do a side tricep, it sticks out like that. I don't know why. It's just only on a side tricep. It just likes to creep out.
Look at the
The British
comment.
bow.
The comments here.
They are funny. Yannicka had a right laugh. Yannicka loved it.
Somebody.
I was so. Do you know what? I was so close when I was posting it. When I was writing the caption to write side cock. I was literally just going to write that, and then I was like, oh, they're going to look at it anyway because it's just one of them pictures where you know they're going to look at your cock.
That
It would have been funnier if you drew attention to
That
it.
would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you'd have said side cock.
I was like that. I literally typed side and then dot, and I was like,
Somebody messaged me and said you're challenging Justin Shier since he's known as Big Dick Shier.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, well, yeah, you didn't know that? Oh, you probably wouldn't know that. It's on the other podcast.
no, I didn't know, but it's just because like I always the guy, you know, it's obviously Bo Lewis that's always getting spoken about when it comes to big fucking knobs.
Well, that's not.
Yeah.
That's
Next level.
Yeah, that's a different.
You were joking about that in Ohio, and I had no idea what you guys were referencing.
Oh mate, it's huge.
What do you mean?
Yeah. It's distracting.
With
Oh, Justin?
Yeah, because I don't watch the other one, so I'm
Yeah,
like, I
yeah,
know
yeah.
what the fuck it's all about. But then Samson, that was the funniest thing ever, by the way, with Samson.
Oh yeah.
Table.
His
I
wife.
was fucking crying. Yeah, fucking crying.
On a more serious note, though, let's look at a picture other than the side cock. What the fuck, James? What's with this leg? Like everything is starting to look.
You just split them up, just doing hams one day, quads another, isn't it?
No, but it looks like your physique has turned to another corner.
Yeah.
Hoping I'm fucking working my ass off, but it's just some days you feel good, some days you don't. That day in particular, everything just connected well, and I looked better than I anticipated.
Yeah, I just
Like I was doing a video like after because it's from a video, and I was like, yeah, and then I looked at the video, I was like, I look all right today. So I like some days I'm like, okay, I'm happy with how I'm looking. Some days not. So still a lot of work to do.
It's funny, you see bodybuilders progress as like the years go on and shit, and you see them make it's like every year you see them make small progressions, and then every once in a while their physique goes to like another level.
Yeah.
So Paul, do you think, like, looking at that photo, how much, like, it looks to me like, I don't know, Paul and James, you guys can comment, or Paul and Ben, you guys can comment, but like, it looks to me like it's a different James this year.
Well, every year James is making gains like this. The last probably 3 or 4 years.
We have to,
but this is like,
we repeat that same conversation, don't we, every time? Like,
Yeah, the last bit, right.
Off season, you're like, oh, you fucking look like you put
Yeah. And then diet.
No, but okay, listen.
No, that used to be your case, and it's only happened one time now in the last 3 years where the Olympia, it was just a little too far. But the shows before that, like the 3 you ran with Patrick before that, you got right.
Yeah. See, that was when I was I was a little bit heavier there, and then my stomach, you can see, I'm a little bit. I ate to the max there, and then what I did is I just scaled back my food by a touch for a few weeks, and then that's how I look like how I do now, because I've actually dropped about 10 pounds of like bloat. So what I'm doing is I'm just pushing when I can, and then when I get to a point where I'm not comfortable, I pull back. And
I feel like there's a lesson there for a lot of like young kids coming up, where they keep redlining for too long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I actually had this conversation where I had Jordan come up. He trains with Hunter, and so I'm coaching them both. And I was talking, because they're both going to compete in December, and I'm like, I don't want to redline you guys now. It's a long year, and I always want to have them like thinking I can do more.
Yeah.
If we're just at that like one step behind maxing out, we can hold that for much longer. And like I say, you hit that just little peak, and then if you back off a little bit, just reset like James is doing, and then you can push on and progress you can just keep this more sustained progress.
Listen, that way. Ben, I'm like that with training, everything right now. I'm listening to myself 100%. I'm like at 90%, and I know I can go a bit harder, but I'm like, I can prolong this. Like I can go 90 for a long, long time and progress rather than flatline. Yeah. And it's funny because I spoke to Jordan Peters about digestion, because he's the one thing he admits about bodybuilding is that if he could go back, he wouldn't have stayed uncomfortable for so long, because he was an advocate of push. And I said, like, because I was like, because of the stomach thing, he was the first person I was like, what would you do? When your stomach starts to feel fucked up, because he's been there and done that, and actually he thinks like he's gone too far. He said, you're doing the right thing, bro. He said, by listening to your body and then scaling back, it's 100% the right thing. He said, I regret not listening to myself. I regret thinking that you've got to be super fucking hardcore and keep forcing it in.
Well, the thing that I've learned is to sustain muscle mass at like your level, you don't have to be in a giant surplus. You know what I mean? So you can take that foot off the gas for a week or two and just get a breather with a little bit of a calorie reduction. As long as you're still eating enough, you're not pounding food to a point where you're like force feeding, but you're going to hold on to all that tissue, especially if you've got some baseline anabolics in play. You're going to hold on to all that tissue, reset, and then you can go again. It's just, I think we have that mindset of it's like, it needs to be all one way in an off season. And then when a prep starts, it's all the other way. And
plus, let me highlight something as well. So the minute I scale back my food, I drop like 7 to 8 pounds. What is that 7 to 8 pounds? It's just bloat. So I'm like
stomach contents, water.
So it's like
inflammation.
I'm getting a truer indication of what I have on my frame when I do these little scale backs. So they're very important for me to have that information to know that this is actually muscle I have and that I haven't got. Because when
it's
I'm
also healthier, man.
Yeah, man. So
I think looking back, I could agree with that. I would always push food and get as big as I could, and I would sit at like 300 pounds for the whole year.
Yeah.
And my stomach would, like you said, in those one pictures we posted, you said your stomach felt uncomfortably big.
Yeah.
And mine would be that way too. But I always noticed when I dieted, it would go always back to normal. But what happens is after years and years and years, it doesn't always go back to normal.
Quite the same again.
Yeah. It gets a little bigger until you're like 5 years later and you're like, fuck, I ruined my life. Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
You're like, now I can't get it to go all the way back.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a good lesson I like that. The way you're saying it, though, I like it better than when people say a mini cut.
Yeah, I don't like using that whole word because I think that's fucking millennial bullshit. I feel like when people say mini cut,
it just gets confused because people that are coming up think they have to all of a sudden go into a prep phase. And I'm like, no, all you have to do is like take out the junk and reduce your carbs a little bit, maybe, or reduce food and as a whole a little bit. And I guess you could call it a mini cut, but it's not really. I don't know.
I just reference it towards, I say that red line, you know, where you're redlining and then you just
maintaining
back a little. You're not dieting. You're just pulling back from the forcing. You know, you're just not forcing the issue. So
it's an important thing to talk about, though, because a lot of young bodybuilders, they lose track of how important your waist is. Once it's blown out, that's a big problem.
Honestly, it fucks your whole physique.
You know why though? You know why though? I think it's such a slow process. Like for me, if you look at my physique from 2008 to 2015, it's like that didn't happen in 1 year.
Right.
Like my waist got a little bigger and you don't notice it really because you're getting bigger everywhere else too. So you're like, I think I'm still good. And then you're like, wait a minute, I'm not good anymore. So it's like, it just kind of happens. And I think that's why a lot of people don't catch it. So, you know, it's good that James has somebody like Jordan to call or something, or Ben has, you know, enough knowledge to tell his guys to be like, hey, you know what, maybe we should pull it back a little bit and then go forward again.
Well, it's a key thing we said to Hunter is this year, he can probably push more food and more drugs right now. But I'm like, why? Lines are important. Like I'm not prepared to ruin, and he's not prepared either. We had that discussion. We had a brief discussion, like, where's your appetite at? Where's your training output at? And he's like, I think I can push more. I'm like, okay, but we're only like, this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. We're only in early March. I'm like, no. Like he made tremendous progress in those first 5 weeks. Just keep riding it. Just keep it going without forcing it.
I just want to make a point though, and make sure we're not confusing something. So we do all agree that you have to push food to get to a certain size, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So it's really hard for the person listening because they're like, okay, they're saying we got to push food, but they're saying we got to not to push food too long or too much. So I am agreeing with everything everybody's saying, but we have to be able to articulate it to the people watching so that they know what we mean by this.
There's a sweet spot. There's a couple of things, like if you actually want to know, like if I'm dealing with an athlete, I'm dealing with biofeedback, and okay, what's your appetite like first thing in the morning? What's it out 2 hours after you've eaten the meal? And then those things, because we're ingrained habitually to be able to just do what we are told to do. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what our bodies should be doing. So I can get, like James, I can tell James, hey, James, eat this amount of food like 6 times a day or 7 times a day, and he'll just eat it. Whether his stomach is saying, like, oh, James, fuck off or not. But I'm like, what is your body telling? And that's what he's saying. He's listening to his body. Is his stomach going, okay, I'm ready to eat again now or not? But
wait, I want to stop you just for 1 second, because that's the confusing part. So on one hand, we're saying, listen to your appetite, right? Which is obviously really important. But on the other hand, we're saying you got to push through sometimes, even when your appetite's not great. Right. So there are times, like Ben, do you agree that there are times where you're like, oh man, I don't want to eat breakfast, but you got to get it in?
100%.
Right.
And
so that's the juggling. That's the act we got to.
To give you an example, like Hunter's probably blending 2 or 3 of these meals a day, right? That's because the food is high. Now, can he still get more food in? Yeah, probably. But do we want to do that just for the sake of adding more food and chasing scale weight? That's probably gonna, if we did that year after year, like you said, now all of a sudden that midsection is going to start to thicken on us. And we're not going to realize it until it's too late. What I'm saying is you have to go through periods where, I'm not saying don't have those moments where you're like, this is fucking miserable. I'm saying, I think there's a mentality of, I'm in the off season, every day has to be that way.
So let me ask you a more specific question. That way people watching can get a better idea. Okay. So let's say you're coaching me and you give me a diet and I'm like, my appetite's not great, but you're like, we got to push food. We've done all the different things that you can do to fix appetite, right? We got the nutrition right. We're doing a little bit of cardio, all that stuff, but my appetite's not great. But you're like, we got to push food. So you got to get it in. I guess the specific question I'm asking is, how long do you push that food before you're like, okay, now let's give your body a break to come back?
So there's another caveat to that as well, which is, what are you doing in the gym? Are your lifts, is your performance increasing? Are you still getting good pumps? Are you like, Those kind of things tell me if the strength is still moving up, performance in the gym is still good, pumps are still good, I'm like, let's hold. We can still ride this. We're still on that wave. Now, if things in the gym are like, look, if they're getting pretty stagnant,
slugging.
I can't get anything out more of my lifts. The pumps are fading a little bit. Like I don't feel as good in the gym. My energy levels suck. Now that's telling me, okay, look, we're losing performance in the gym too. Okay. Let's check.
That's very valuable information, because if I think back to when I was like pushing my body as hard as I could, and I would even tell Paul this, there would be periods of time where I would reach like what I would call a saturation point, where like I think it was almost like I was insulin resistant a little bit. Like my pumps weren't as good, and I was like just smashing food and and my theory at the time was, my pumps aren't good, I got to smash more food.
Yeah.
And that was obviously counterproductive. So obviously, so that's a good indicator, is pumps. Is strength a really good indicator though? Because your strength isn't always going to continue to climb.
It's a piece of information.
Yeah.
It's part of the picture.
Yeah.
The compound lifts, especially if they're going up, I don't expect like isolation movements to be, but if you've got like one or two of your like big heavy movements and they're stalling out, and you've rotated them out and changed exercises, reset the pattern, those kind of things, and they're still stalling, you probably need to just check back and let the body reset a little. And that's where historically, I think historically in the past, that's where bodybuilders might have added an oral, right? Or added insulin, because you're right, like insulin resistance does increase. So then look, if growth hormone is in play, if we're talking about one of the big boys, and you were one of the, now growth hormone is in play, that is going to be increasing insulin resistance.
Yeah.
Insulin comes into play, and insulin can bridge that gap then a little bit, or mask the problem, and you'll get the pumps back and you're like, I feel great again.
But that exactly is part of the problem too, because in the past, that's why I actually don't like insulin, because in the past I did that. I'm like, oh, my pumps aren't good, maybe I'll add in like 5 IU pre-workout or something just to get a little boost. And I feel like when I started doing insulin, that actually, and I was forcing more food. Mm-hmm. This is where I feel like people are like, insulin makes your gut big. And I don't think it's the insulin. It's the fact that you're pushing more food now. And I think
it's the correlation of you're putting insulin in at the time where food is already maxed out.
That's right. Yeah.
So then they don't go, oh, it's the max out of the food. It's that, oh, well, it must be the insulin. It's just a coincidence. Like, it's just I don't want to say coincidence, but you're just
indirect. Yeah. So James, going back to your photos, when you decided to take that, like the reset or whatever you want to call it, what indicators, like, was your strength stagnant? Were your pumps stagnant? Or is it just for you, just like, I feel uncomfortable and I want to reset?
Purely down to an intrinsic feeling. It's literally like, I know that my digestion isn't as good as it is, because the time between meals now feels like it's forever. Like, it feels like I'm taking a lot longer to want to eat. And also, I suppose, just the circumference of your midsection, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Just know it. It's just a very basic thing. It's like, okay, the circumference of my midsection feels off, feels a lot larger than it normally does. I have to listen to that because it's a very basic feedback. Like there's not, in my own case, there's not a lot to it. It's very, very instinctive. It's very much like, okay, I know I can put my food to this point, be comfortable. I'm going to have to like tinker it up a little bit over the course of the weeks. When I hit a point when it switches me back into that place where I'm like, oh shit, this is hard again, I'll just do the same again, pull back again. But I won't pull back as much as the first time. So I'm like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So my food would be here. Yeah. So I'm here, and then I increase my food to here. I get fucked. I bring my food back down to like just here. Yeah. And then I'll crease up, and then eventually the amount of food that I can,
higher and higher.
The amount of food I can take in is increasing slowly.
I really think, and I wish I could have this mentality 10 years ago. 2 steps forward, 1 step back is like the perfect mentality to have.
That's how I do in my training as well. I'm at my
push. Okay, back. Just reset. Push. Back. Like it works so well.
And that theory, that mindset also works in training, because it's part of the reason why my joints were so fucked, is because I was always 100% every fucking day, and I never took a week where I was like, okay, this week and next week we're going to go 90% or 80% and then go back to full, right? So that 2 steps forward, 1 step back works. Nutrition, training, drugs,
Everything,
like it works.
Everything. I do that a lot lately. Like my life is that, like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Like, and I accept that. I'm like, it's still progression. It may not be linear progression. Like it's not always on the up. Like the trajectory changes.
It's overall progression, right?
Yeah, overall. I care more about overall progression than the rate of progression.
So James, just to go back just a little bit more specific, I just want to know, when you decided to scale back, I know you said it was a feeling, but were your pumps still great?
Good, but I get to, what my main thing is, I get to the end of training and I'll take pictures and my midsection still look much more full than I would like it to look.
Okay, so for you, it wasn't necessarily strength or pumps. It was more.
No, I'm strong as fuck when I'm heavy with a big midsection. Jesus Christ, but I'm a bodybuilder.
That's right.
And I'm like, if I fuck my waist, then I might as well not be a bodybuilder. So more for me, it was a visual aspect. It was a feeling and a visual aspect. Performance was pretty good still. But it's clear, it's check-ins, man. If I do a check-in and I'm doing a side chest and I can't hold that fucking stomach in, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that certain exercises thicken up the waist too, more than others?
Probably. I don't believe
that. Really.
No, you don't think squatting or deadlifting?
I mean, there's lots of guys that squat big weight and don't have big midsections. I think
Larry Wills is a tiny fucking midsection.
For sure. Yeah. I know there's always exceptions, but like, it just kind of makes sense to me. Don't you think? Like, if you're down in that whole squatting position, like, and exerting a lot of weight, everything's, going to get thicker, don't you think?
My trunk is definitely thicker than it used to be because I do a lot of compounds, in my opinion. Yeah. Because there was a time when I worked with Phil Viz that I did no compounds and my waist was the smaller it was. Bear in mind, I was smaller, yes.
Yeah.
But my waist was actually smaller than previous years.
Yeah.
So I do think there is some correlation, but at the end of the day, I want big hanging. I want meaty lower back. I don't care if it's a bit thicker. It's more, I think it's not so much the front. I think it's how thick you get around the lower back when you look at someone's side profile.
Or from the front, the thickness from the front.
From the oblique kind of standpoint. But
I feel like
it's a necessary evil, kind of.
I don't feel like
cool.
I don't feel like the compound movements do it because there's a number of people. I feel like it's genetic and it's food and it's overall size. Those are, to me, are the three things, right? Mm-hmm. I don't feel like compound, because there's a number of people in history that have been big on compound movements that don't have big waists. But I think when, like James said, he was smaller, so his waist was smaller. And the same thing for me. When I was 235, 240, my waist was smaller. When I got to 255, 260, my waist wasn't smaller anymore. So it's not just a matter of, is it that exercise or is it that drug or is it that food? Your overall body is growing and your midsection is a muscle. It's going to get bigger too. Like you can't.
Yeah. It's like anything. Like a dish takes a lot of fucking ingredients at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that end product is a mixture of many things.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry.
I also think, and I don't believe it is because of big compounds, but if there is a correlation, I think the benefit of the big heavy compounds adding mass to the legs and the back and the shoulder overpowers the thickness that you're going to get from doing them in the midsection. So you're still going to keep that ratio. I just see.
I was wondering more like with certain exercises, if your focus is to keep your waist small, or if you're someone who's trying to correct a waist that's blowing up, so to speak, those compound movements, if you want to keep them in, would it be smarter to go a little bit lighter and higher rep so that you're not thickening up your waist, theoretically?
I mean, I think, go ahead, James. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think from like a newer person to this standpoint, they would believe that to be the case, just because it kind of makes sense from just a logical standpoint.
Yeah.
But in matter of fact, it probably makes no fucking difference.
Yeah. So you don't think it matters for guys squatting?
I think, man,
for 2 reps.
I really think from my own experience and from just look, if you look back, one of the things I was going to say earlier was the evolution of bodybuilding, right? Yeah. So we had 80s and 90s where guys were smaller, but they had great midsections. And then we got to 2000 where it was like all mass. And that was the era I was in. And everybody was just I didn't hear these discussions. Yeah. There wasn't magazine articles about how to get a small waist, how to keep your waist small. Nobody gave a shit. They're just like, get as
big fucking arms and big shoulders.
That's right. So now we've almost came to an evolution where we're like, okay, how do we get Ronnie's size, but Lee Haney's waist?
Right. Yeah. It's like a hybrid of the two.
So what I think is the biggest issue in the 2000s was everybody was eating a ton of fucking food and abs were not. The midsection was not a focus. So nobody was doing vacuums. Nobody was doing any ab training. Nobody was doing anything. And then to compound that, now you have guys eating all this food in off season and stretching out their stomachs, with nothing to, like, I remember talking to Luke, and Luke was eating a ton of food, and he'd be like, I'm doing vacuums twice a day.
Yeah, and that's what helped him keep.
Yeah, he would do a vacuum in the morning, and then he would do the vacuums again after 5 meals when his stomach was full.
I think doing it with food in your stomach is even more important.
Yeah, of course. So my point is, in the earlier 2000s, nobody was doing any fucking vacuums. They were just stuffing food and stretching out their waists.
Yeah.
And then
you look at like Tom Prince and guys like that, they would just get jacked.
Yeah. So it's like, to me, it's not the compound movements as much as it is your overall diet and what you're doing with your training.
Yeah, but I agree. That's why I scaled the food back. That's exactly why. I haven't changed my training. I've just pulled the food back.
Yeah. I was just curious, I was just curious if there's a correlation.
Well, I also think it makes sense, Paul, because if you look at strongmen and powerlifters, they have giant midsections, but they're also eating like mass amounts of food. So
400 pounds.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. I think, like, if you're going to compare, and I go to the extreme on this, doing a 1 rep max deadlift versus doing a set of 15 on the deadlift. Well, the exposure you have to blowing out your waist for 15 reps versus 1, I would argue that the 15 reps is going to blow your waist.
You got more time under that tension.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me. I don't disagree with obviously the exposure to your waist being trained more, but
I don't agree with it. Period. I'm just saying. If that was the case, then I would say just doing 1 hard rep versus 15 reps, you're probably going to get less.
Because it's less blowout. There is one other thing I could touch on in Paul's case about training is, I remember talking to Patrick Moore on a podcast, and we were talking about this, and he said when he does leg press and he does things like that, he always minds his waist. You know how, like, if you're doing leg press, you can push your stomach out and almost get like a little bit.
Most of us do.
Yeah, which you brace yourself, right? Or if you're squatting. Yeah, Patrick does the opposite, which obviously is a little more dangerous because you're not braced in the midsection, and obviously you're not going to lift as much weight. But he says it helps him keep his midsection tight. Now, whether that's a fact or not, I don't know, but I'm just saying that's one theory.
Yeah. Again, I'm not claiming to know anything better than anyone else here. I wear a belt as much as I can on all my lifts. Because it makes me mindful. So, you gave me shit when I was training arms.
I used to do that. I just gave you shit.
No. I know. I'm just saying, I actually do it. I keep it on a leg press because if I blow out my stomach and I've got the belt on, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So if I'm on that leg press, it makes me hold that here.
Yep.
And then I can get more range with my legs anyway because my midsection is not fucking jamming my quads.
It's funny how do that. It's funny how. Sorry, Paul. It's funny how everybody has such a different opinion, because I think it was Justin who was saying that idea was stupid, and it's fine. Everybody can have an opinion. I actually agree with it, because Hani had me do it way back in the day. He's like, you're going to wear a belt from the minute you get into the gym to the minute you leave. And he's like, I don't care what body part you're doing. And it wasn't because it makes your waist smaller, but it's just exactly what Ben said, is it makes you mindful of not just letting your fucking gut hang out or actually pushing it out when you're doing a certain movement.
Again, when we used to work with Phil, like Ben and I, Phil was advocate of that. Like, he used to make me wear a normal leather belt you put in your trousers to the gym under my top. And he used to say, like, try not to let your stomach push on it.
Yeah.
I used to do that.
Yeah.
But I found it led to my lower back getting really weak, and I would get a lot of lower back injuries.
Some people find that happens.
But is that, but maybe you had it on too tight, like, because I don't think I'd ever cinched it like, I cinched it so it was tight. But if you put it too tight, then you're like, I feel like
maybe you're right. I just thought that it's probably because I'm not letting those muscles get strong on their own. They're being assisted.
Yeah.
So when I stopped wearing a belt, then my lower back got stronger and I never had problems anymore. But my waist also got thicker.
That's the same thing I did. Remember back in the day, there was a period where I stopped wearing a belt.
Yeah.
And I was like, and that was actually the same theory. I'm like, I don't want my core to get weak.
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, I'm going to do this without a belt. But then same thing Paul just said is, I felt like my waist got bigger because I was pushing my stomach all the way out on certain movements, like squats or something like that, right?
I used to have a tiny waist.
I will say this as well. You can see who's squatting and deadlifting in their physique. You have these guys that will have nice, pretty physiques, and you're like, it looks great, and they have a tiny waist, and you're like, but you can see that they shy away from the real hard shit.
But really, I mean, not always though, because if you think about it, like,
Look, if I look at James's physique, and then I'm like, I know what that boy.
Oh no, you know I did. Yeah, you know I had to squat. You do.
I can see he's got that dense fucking tissue on him.
Yeah, you can tell when someone just does
isolation. Whereas you look at someone like Phil, Heath. Look, one of the greatest bodybuilders ever. I'm not saying it makes him a bad bodybuilder. I'm just saying you can see
it's a portion of where your muscle is.
The only thing I want to say about that was like if you look at Regan or you look at Samson, those guys squat, but they don't have that like same type of look that James has. So is it genetic?
Listen. They don't squat like me. That's all
I'm not saying nobody fucking squats like
listen,
nobody squats like you.
They're both my friends.
That's what I mean. I'm not comparing Samson and Regan's squat session to James's.
No. In all honesty,
but that's not fair. That's not fair.
I think genetically as well. Like there's a massive. Like you look at where Samson's come from, the size he was back in 2014, he was slim.
Yeah.
So his waist is set up. Like
I'm not even talking about waist midsection.
Oh, see,
he's talking about muscle.
I'm talking about that fucking tissue.
But wait a second. So he said, I want to actually touch on this. It's interesting because he said, I don't want to compare that training session to James's training session. And I'll just take those guys out of it. I'll put myself in it, right? Because
Ben's just my homie.
No. Listen, there's no doubt you lift insane weight and train hard. But what I'm saying is weight is relative. So like if I go in the gym and I squat 5 plates, to me, that's just as hard as James squatting 8 plates.
Yeah.
So like it's not.
No. What? I train at night. I told you earlier, I train at night.
Because you trained your legs, right? You both started from day one. You both squatted 1 plate, 2 plates, 3 plates, 4 plates, 5 plates. You got to 5 plates. James kept going.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean his leg training is harder. That just means he's stronger.
He carried on pushing his strength.
Yeah, but that's just because you're stronger doesn't mean you train harder.
We're not saying train harder. Don't get it. See, you're taking this personally now.
No, I'm not taking it personally. No. I was using Samson. No, I was using Samson and Regan. What I'm trying to say is,
if I do volume, which is I'm talking more like your style training, I'm down at 4 and 5 plates.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
If I'm doing more of the high. Fuck it, I'm leaving that word out of it. I'm doing the
high intensity.
Work.
I get it. Yeah.
I'm building up to 6 and 7 plates.
Okay.
I know the look, the difference.
Okay, wait a minute. That makes more sense.
That makes more our training styles. Yeah, mine and Samson's training styles are very different.
No.
Samson's a little bit higher volume.
Now you're making sense. So you're saying the heavy weight is what creates the look.
The tissue just has a different.
Yeah, but that's different than what you said originally. Because what you said originally was I could tell who squats and who doesn't. So what I would from
the texture. I'm not talking about the shape and the lines.
I know, but what I'm saying is Samson probably squats every leg workout, and James probably squats every leg workout.
Okay.
But what you're saying is
I meant like
the weight that James uses is creating a different look.
Nosebleed squatting, right?
Yeah, but you can nosebleed. I don't understand.
You know what I mean. Like squatting where you're like, he needs 5 minutes to get ready for this fucking squat. He's wrapping up on it. It's like getting under it. He's got two people. He's got a person each side of him, and he's like fucking walks out, and he can barely fucking walk the thing out. Right? That kind of fucking weight I'm talking about.
Paul, have we done that?
No, but there's exceptions to that too, though, right? Like, I know there's exceptions to any rule, but not to discredit anybody, but Johnny Jackson's got some of the strongest squats, in bodybuilding.
Yeah. But then his size don't like.
I just feel like
you're forgetting. I'm not talking about size. That's what I mean.
He's talking about the look of the muscle, shape, the graininess of it.
Just has a different fucking texture to it. It just has this like.
Because I will add this. I love Samson's thighs. Like, and I'm not talking about. He's got some of the best thighs I think in FBB right now in terms of shape.
Phil Heath is one of the greatest bodybuilders he's probably the second best bodybuilder in my opinion, because I'm a Ronnie fan, of all time. Didn't do the brutal heavy squatting and deadlifting.
Dorian too. Dorian used to never squat.
But wait a minute though. I still wonder if it's a genetic thing. Because I'm only disagreeing because I'm trying to have this.
We have to have it.
I'm trying to have a longer conversation about it because I'm not sure. So if we take Branch, James, Ian, they have that same gnarly grain. John Meadows, they have the same grainy, gnarly look to the muscle, right? But then if you look at Tom Platz, he doesn't have the same look, right? It doesn't have the same grainy.
He's in the 80s. The 80s guys looked a bit more shiny and less.
Or like look at Fankhauser, right?
Yeah.
Like Fankhauser's massive legs, but they don't have that grainy. So I wonder, is the graininess like Evan squats hard. Evan trains legs hard.
Yeah.
Evan doesn't have that grainy, gnarly look. So I wonder to
think it's
myself, is it
correct me if I'm
more
wrong though? Tom Platz and Fankhauser are pretty high volume guys, right?
Oh, so you're saying it's the high intensity that does it only, or not only, but a main
so again, the strength active and in the lower rep ranges.
Yeah, like
I say
even if someone never like barbell back squatted, but they got on a hack squat and fucking like Dorian used to heavy fucking hack squat.
Yeah,
right?
like
that's
that,
what I'm more referring. Like,
this is not a shameless plug, but
I was going to say, new flavor.
This may be the most delicious thing I've ever tried.
I saw it green.
What is
That's
this?
definitely new.
No, it's a mix of our orange pineapple silo, and I got a new carb powder. It's called Blue Freeze. It's like a.
why are you drinking carb powder on a podcast?
Yeah, what do you have?
This is a meal. This is a meal for me. I'm having my EAAs and carb powder.
You should have
go on, right? Liquid diet.
Just have a coffee.
For the McDonald's.
I have legs today, so I had to fuel up my filling up my glycogen stores.
But yeah, the debate, like I said, it's not, again, it's like Ben said, it's not taking anyone, it's not taking anything away from it. It's how do you choose to train? So if you choose to train in those, because I did like 3 sets of 8 today.
Yeah.
So like, I know Samson doesn't do that. He's a madman. He'll do like 3 sets of 20 or something. So the volumes of our training is different. It's just as intense as each other, but it's different and it creates a different look.
Look, I'm not. You tell me to. If you ever wrote me out a program to train, and I chose the right weight so that I actually hit the rep ranges. I didn't like ego it, and I'm sure I'd be on the floor fucking dying at the end of it. Be like, fuck that.
But Ben, you're a good example.
Sure.
Ben, you fucking squat 7, 8 plates, whatever, and you don't have like grainy hard muscle.
No, but actually, if you look at what I posted earlier back in 2017, where Luke and I were squatting heavy every fucking week, my legs were better. Like they weren't as big, but they were.
No, there's no
better.
doubt.
They were more had that grainy.
They were denser. They were just better.
Well, there's no doubt.
I thought about it. I was like, why did I look better in 2017? Not as big, but why did I look better? It's like I used to heavy fucking train and not overthink.
There's no doubt to me that heavy training and training to failure creates more muscle. I'm not debating that.
I also have the worst
and denser muscle.
I also have the worst genetics, so I'm a terrible example to use any of my own points. Like,
I'm using you against yourself.
But they're pretty hard there, aren't they? Like you say.
Yeah, my legs are better. And I'm squatting we were squatting once every 6 days or so.
I think you're just leaner. Your legs aren't better. This is you now. Your legs are fucking better now. You're just harder there.
No, they're bigger, but
you're just leaner here. Your legs look better now.
Ben's loving 2017. It was a good year. I won my pro card.
I'm going back to 2017, man. I'm going to go back old school training.
Now that's a parallel.
I mean, Luke is even a good example. Luke was a heavy squatter. He doesn't have the same. Grainy. It's grainy, but it's not like.
I think that's just tandem.
It's not Branch Warren grainy.
Yeah, but Branch was nuts.
Yeah, see,
like a fat pitch to me.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Anyway, look, I'm not disagreeing. I'm actually it's a longer conversation because there are examples of people that did squat heavy and don't have it, and then.
So I'm wondering if Regan did like 3 sets of 8, and pushed into his upper limit of strength. Like, do you think then he's like, say his physique, for example, would then be a little bit grainier?
Maybe, yeah.
I think he'd have more density to him when I think that's what he needs.
Because he's got crazy insertions. Like he could go so far. Like I say, if he just gets a bit more of that. I'm not telling him what to do. He's fucking.
Look, if you told me now, look, in the next 5 years, at some point, Regan would win a Mr. Olympia, I wouldn't argue and be like, you're full of shit.
So, I just want to, and I guess everybody's opinion comes from their own perception somewhat.
Yes, of course.
When I trained with John, I used to train heavier than when I trained with John. When I trained with John, I gained a lot more muscle.
Yeah.
Partially because of the eating. The gain of muscle is what I thought gave me the graininess. Yeah. Because I wasn't training heavier when I trained with John. I just gained a lot more muscle. Mm-hmm. But I mean, maybe the graininess came from the way I trained before John. I don't know.
You just don't know, do you? It's hard to pinpoint, really.
Yeah.
So
anyway, you'll never know because you can never have 2 guys with the exact same genetics do 10 years of one way versus 10 years of the other.
No, but we do have, but you're right, though. We do have good evidence. Like, I mean, Ronnie Coleman, Branch Warren, James, Ian, these guys all have similar traits and similar training. So
isn't there some muscle maturity there too?
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the thing that that frustrates me about Regan's physique is
just
it's like you're looking for maturity. And is the maturity brought on by time, or is the maturity brought on by heavy weight?
If you look at it,
a combination of the two.
Do you think someone like Victor Martinez ever had? Because I think they have a similar. No, they have that similar muscle where it's like very pretty.
It's almost like they're meant to stay young forever. Fucking muscle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Victor's muscle now is still like.
It still looks incredible. Yeah.
The Victor, 2007 Victor Martinez for me. God damn, that's like phenomenal. But there's no graininess to it at all.
No.
You want to see great. You want to see great. Look over at like the Europeans, don't you? And you see like Roman and guys like that. It's like whoa.
Yeah, like if they're a Russian or something, they're grainy. They're grainy.
But that's genetic. It's genetic because Roman trains high volume. The guy trains twice a day and shit. And
Luke used to piss and moan to me, fucking people in there just telling me, just get grainy. I'm like, just get grainy. It was like his biggest pet hate was people telling him, "Oh, you'll win the next show if you just get grainy." He's like,
I'm not fucking trying. Like, I'm in the gym fucking training.
I do think it's a lot of it is genetic. Yeah, like you have some people that are just like look at Ian when he turned like. Ian was grainy when he was like 210 pounds.
Yeah,
he was.
We have the Indy Pro coming up, and Justin said he's doing Indy and New York. Is Justin Rodriguez?
He's going to win a show, isn't he? He's going to win something, surely.
I think Justin can win Indy for sure, and possibly New York. Yeah, depending on who's there. Is he going to burn himself out though? There's a pretty long gap between all these shows, right? So it's like, is it going to be too much?
He did the Olympia too. He hasn't had much of an off season at all. Eh?
Well, I would like to think he wins one of them so he can shut it down quick.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to win one of them.
Wouldn't he have enough points if he does at least places very high in both of them?
He'll win. I think he'll win Indy. What I'm trying to say is, he's been dieting. You got to think he's done the Olympia. Then he probably had a really short break. Then he's been dieting since December or January. And then he's done those couple shows there. And now he's got another 8 weeks or whatever, 9 weeks between Indy and Boston. So he's just all this dieting, right? And then he's going to have a really short break and he's going to start dieting again for the Olympia.
Right.
Or is actually the Olympia is in December, though, not in September this year.
I think it's December.
He'll have a little bit longer break. Yeah.
He's only got points from Boston, right?
And the Arnold.
Yeah, not many though.
I think you get more points for the Arnold. Oh, he was fifth.
Not way placed. Yeah. He wasn't second. It was like he was second.
Yeah.
I want to show you guys this. See what you guys think, because I think Blessing has made quite a change in his physique.
Yeah, he looks pretty good, man.
Yeah, he's looking.
You're looking at George, right? George
Farrier.
Is he?
Yeah,
like that. That looks like a much bigger physique than last year.
He was huge in the off season. Like when I was over there, I was like, "Whoa, he was big."
Legs look bigger.
Meaty in the off season, though, huh?
Yeah.
He always carries his off season weight really well, and then when he diets down, you're like, "Oh, you're not as big as I thought."
But he looks like he's still holding it together, Ben.
I hope so. But I've seen him be impressive in the early start of a prep as well. You know
what I think his physique is missing a little bit. He needs hamstrings. This is one thing I'm seeing, because his quads look like they've grown considerably.
Yeah, they do.
But when he does those side shots, there's a lot of glute and a lot of quad, but not very. He's got very short hamstrings, like you can see there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of hang to him, man.
See it? It just from here to here, like his glutes.
It's funny because the fucking play button looks like it's pointing at what you asked for.
I also
did you see that? It like lined up.
But see, you can see it here too, right? Is that this big long glute, big thick quad, but then it's just. His hamstring is short, so it needs to be thicker.
I do think he could pose it better as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think Ronnie's were pretty similar, and he made them better. So,
Brandon's look kind of like that too a little bit.
His chest looks like he could be a little. His back has come up quite a bit.
He's very wide. His shoulders are fucking ridiculously wide.
His arms are a lot better. He looks just bigger all around. I think he's going to do very well.
Is he doing one of
He's
those
better.
shows?
He's in Indy.
He's doing
He's
Indy.
doing Indy? Oh, is he? Yeah. Who
I'm
else?
going to assume that he's probably going to do New York as well.
Yeah.
He's 280. It says it's 283 here.
Oh, wow.
So it looks like he's going to end up at like 255 probably.
Huh.
I could see 25 pounds here.
Well, Dexter says he's looking good.
Yeah, good for him, man. I like to see like improvements like that. Like right here, this looks great.
He's definitely improved.
Yeah, that
it's a
shot.
good
That shot. I was
yeah.
like, wow. The lat flare, like the
Yeah,
sweep of the
yeah.
lats.
Yeah.
And the quad,
And
the quads
his
in here.
midsection his midsection just keeps getting smaller as he gets deeper into a diet. It just disappears.
Yeah. I wish mine did that.
Does anybody else do an indie?
I actually don't.
No way. They're not. I don't know if it's.
People haven't really said what they're doing this year. What's Griffin doing?
What about that one guy? That one guy.
Griffin's doing it. Charles
Griffin
Yes.
looks better too. Actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
put that
he's
little
vacuum,
He got that vacuum on the front double. Look nice.
Yes, it's helped him a lot with his waist.
How come it's not coming up here?
It's funny, like the waist has been the main topic of this,
Well, it's
episode.
like, it's honestly
Which is
it's the dominating conversation in bodybuilding now because everybody has seen the massive guys. Now they want to see massive guys with small waists. It's like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
main,
Yeah.
They cake and eat it.
Yeah. So this is Charles Griffin. It looks like his legs are better than last year. He's fucking filling in this gap more and more.
Yeah.
every year. Look at the waist. Look at this. Look at this right here.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
film. That's
And then look at the ratio when it flares out to here.
It's crazy.
Look
Yeah.
at that.
The big ass arms.
Yeah,
Oh,
his arms are
he's
really-
got
his
massive
arms are
arms
pretty
are great.
Yeah.
He's got such good arms.
Look at that. His legs are
Jeez.
way better.
Yeah.
The left
they are.
bicep looks way more full
This one.
Uh-huh.
round
Yeah.
than that right one.
Do you know
I'm
what?
not
Though?
sure if I like
He
it.
actually looks short now. I can see he's not actually that tall there.
He's so big.
Because I always thought he was really quite tall.
That's a big arm. Fucking hell.
Yeah, he's gonna be good, man. Because the only thing was, I thought his legs had to come up, and now like you really see a good look at this like hourglass shit you got going on here.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah, that's a crazy X frame.
and yeah, I said 9 weeks, so he's doing Indy as well.
Oh, yeah.
Can he beat Justin?
I think he has before, hasn't he?
Maybe not the new Justin.
He plays
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
in like one of the shows.
I think I prefer Charles's physique, but I don't.
Justin's
think,
gnarly hard.
I just think Justin's bigger as well. I think he's
Justin's
bigger and
really
harder.
big. Yeah,
Does Charles get that grainy hardness?
he gets pretty hard.
Does
Yes,
he?
he does. He gets pretty damn hard. I've seen him at some shows looking pretty fucking
People
crazy.
think he is.
Legs look great there.
Mhm.
You know, it's funny with some people's legs. Like when you look at Charles's legs, he's made them bigger, but it's more in the middle.
Yeah.
Some guys just can't get that. Like this is a good sweep, but you know what I mean? Like some guys just have a really thick lateralis, and it looks like his is there, but he's filled in the middle more than putting more meat on the outside.
So adaptive work and some.
You talk about a physique that you can tell squats a lot, Those legs look like you can squat some serious weight.
I'd be interested to know if he does. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Look at that.
What?
It's the way that it's changed just by doing the pull-in.
Yeah.
Does a vacuum in.
Yeah.
So,
It's interesting. I'd like to talk to him, see how long you practiced that for. Anybody else that we know doing the show?
What's
Ben
that
go?
Kim? What's that Kim doing?
Where did Ben go?
I don't know. Is he still here?
Ben, you still here?
Disappeared during our check-in with
tech problems.
Texas internet.
Yeah.
Let me text Ben.
Not all
Spotty.
Texas. He's part of Texas. The sticks.
Yeah. It's spotty internet there.
I don't know who else did. I don't know what Kim's doing since he pulled out the Arnold.
So James, what are you doing? Are you doing the Arnold UK?
Hopefully, yeah, I've applied. So
When's that?
I think September.
Oh,
So it gives me a bit more time, to just keep this tissue and then hopefully come in for that. It's going to be a big show. There's going to be a lot of people doing it, man.
Really?
Shows that
Yeah. The Arnold UK.
Mark Hector is.
Yeah.
looking-
Oh yeah. Mark,
Yeah, I'll be against him. I'll be against fucking all of them, to be fair.
Mark
Nathan
Hector is
Diasha.
looking super
Oh,
thick.
probably Nathan again. He says he ain't doing it, but you know what he's like. He'll go there and try and win because it's fucking money in it.
Yeah. Samson will probably take a break.
Samson will want to do it because he got second last year, so he'll want to win it.
Oh.
So I think everyone will do it. It's going to be a busy show.
Yeah, it'll be a great show.
See, when people say, like, when I say get fat in the off season, this is what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
like,
not
it's
fat.
okay to get.
He's not fat, but this is what I consider fat.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
I think like words have meaning, and everybody obviously is speaking from their own perspective.
Yeah.
That's
So-
bodybuilding fat.
This is bodybuilding fat. It's not
Yeah.
fat like everyday fat. That's not what I ever mean when I say that. So when I say in the off season, it's okay to get chubby, it's okay to get fat, whatever. This is what I'm talking about.
That looks like perfect off season.
And Mark Hector's doing this because he knows, like, look at the difference in size.
Yeah.
Like this amount of size doesn't happen without pushing
Being a bit in the tubby zone.
Yeah.
What's the time frame there? Fouad, does he say it in his post?
Left pick October 21st, 277 over here.
To March. October
March
to March.
22nd, 299. So he's gained 22,
Oh, wow.
22 pounds.
In 5 months.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He looks a lot better.
And he's about the same body fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Hector's got an incredible physique. I think
Yeah, he's
does.
freaky.
if he can put that added weight and still look like
Look at the
this.
triceps, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, James. We always look at what we want the most.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I know,
those.
I know you do. You always talk about triceps. So I'm like, I know, sorry, your eye goes first.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
But it's funny because when I looked at it, I was like, look at his waist.
I like the chest lines, the chest striations.
Crazy, isn't it? What
You
show
know,
was that?
deep there?
That's in Spain.
Yeah, this was last year, right? Backstage on my pro debut.
Yeah.
He's got an incredible physique.
Well, yeah, he was like top 4 or top 5, wasn't he at that show?
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
he was 4th.
Yeah.
And in British, he was like top 3.
So you can see here too, like this is not, to me, this is bodybuilding fat,
Oh, his legs got a lot better.
which is totally what it should be in the off season.
Yeah,
You can see
Yeah.
the outline of his physique, but it's not, you know, this is chubby to me.
It's funny because like depending on like ethnicity, like when you're that body fat, it can look dramatic, it can look good or it can look bad. And where he's got such good like midsection to shoulder ratio, he can be that kind of body fat and still look good in a check-in, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like some people, like me, for example, being not having that kind of shoulder width and thicker hips, I suppose. I don't even know if it's my hips because my hips aren't wide, but waist.
Yeah.
If I stand in the front relaxed in the off season, you just look at it and go, what is that, you fat fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But and I might be the same body fat as him. It's just he carries it great, you know? It's all about how you carry it.
Look
He's
at
got
this,
that frame.
Paul. This is 277 on the left, 302 on the right.
Whew, yeah. And he looks, you know, you could maybe a touch leaner on the right.
He's a touch leaner over here, barely, if any, but you can see his chest is thicker.
Yeah.
His legs are thicker. His lats are thicker.
Well, you know, I always refer to it like a good off-season shape for bodybuilding is as long as you can see the outline of your abs still.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a good baseline.
There wasn't very much outline.
No, there was a very faint outline there.
I think if you flex them, it'd be all right. It's probably just being like he does his relaxed into quite a nice kind of push out.
Listen, I'm not. If anybody's watching this, I'm not flaming him at all. I think that's what you should like. That's what I always did. That's what I think. That's what I promote. Like that's what bulking is. You got to put on that fucking weight.
Yeah. It's funny though, because like when I put on that kind of weight, like I said, there you can see his midsection isn't spoiled at all.
Yeah.
Right.
But if I go when I'm above 300, it's like.
Yeah, but James, to him, this is like, okay, everybody's relative, right? Like to him, this is like, this is probably feels big and uncomfortable to him.
Yeah.
Because if you look at you like, when you look at you like, oh,
yeah. To us, to me, I'd be like, I want that on stage. But to him, this probably feels big and uncomfortable because this is what his stage stomach looks like.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He gets really nice small stomach.
Right.
Like
So
would you guys say about 40 to 50 pounds over contest weight would be a comfortable area?
I feel like I did 50 a lot of
it's normally about 50 for these big guys.
Well, you're talking water and everything too.
I feel like 50 is too much. I did 50, but I think 50 is a little too much.
Including water though, Fouad? The last like 10 pounds of water?
I'm always including water. I'm including everything. So I think 40 is probably more reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like 30, maybe you're trying to keep it a little too lean, but if you have all the muscle you need, then probably 30.
Yeah.
James, what do you sorry, Paul. James, what are you right now? You're 290? 295?
I'm like 296 since I've done a little tidy up. Yeah.
And what are you going to go on stage at? 256? Probably.
I don't honestly. I don't.
What did you go on stage at Spain when you won?
I was like probably about 256.
So 40 pounds. But you're bigger now too.
I am, and it's hard for me to judge with the fucking whole weight thing because how the Olympia went, I was over dieted, and even Patrick himself looked at pictures like 3 weeks out and was like, "You actually pretty much ready then." And if I tell you my weight then, you'll be like, "No, it's too heavy still."
270.
So I was 273.
Really?
And I was pretty much ready. So, but a lot of people look at me, "Oh, you can't be ready at 270." So I'm 5'11" and I fucking can get in shape. So I don't expect myself to be any lighter than fucking 260, honestly.
Yeah.
Because if I am, it's the same old shit, and that's not good enough.
How recent were those pictures?
I was going to say, judging by James's photos, like you don't look like you're more than 30 or 35 pounds over.
I think I'm about 30, 35.
Yeah.
So if I'm let's say 96 right now. So if I could be, I would personally like to be 265.
Yeah.
Personally, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You look pretty lean in those pictures. Those are recent pictures?
They're like 2 days ago. Like literally 3 days ago. Yeah.
Like you're under 10% there easily, I would think.
Yeah, I'm not like, look, I'm not. Still
5% probably.
Still veins, look.
Yeah.
I think we lost Ben.
Yeah, what happened?
His internet went down.
Got a bit sticky there. I did notice he was lagging a little bit.
I told him if he wanted to jump on with his phone, he could, and if not, we'll just finish it out with the three of us. Okay. You guys want to do some questions?
Yeah, I'm up for that.
What did you do
for wait, do you mind if I blow my nose really quickly and I'll answer this question? Because I've got a bit of a stuffy nose this week.
Of course.
I'm going to quickly go get. Yeah, I just
look. I got toilet paper.
That's why I love James.
I know.
You always got that.
You want some toilet paper?
Do the same.
Fouad's always got some TP for you.
Imagine if I just had one here and it came out my screen. I'll literally be 1 second. Then do you ask what I did for legs today? Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll come right back. 2 seconds.
James,
are we gonna
polite, Fouad?
Are we gonna what?
I love James. He's so polite.
What?
Well, how many other guys would excuse themselves to blow their nose?
I would excuse myself to blow my nose.
I don't think you would. You just kind of go to the side and do it with your toilet paper roll. You rip off some toilet paper and go over to the side and do it.
He's British. It's the British. It's the British in him. That's why.
I don't think they're all like that though.
No, they're not. Ben would just blow his nose without asking.
Yeah. But Ben's Americanized now.
Is that why?
Maybe. I don't know why.
What are you saying? Americans are bad?
No. I love Americans. Just spent a couple of weeks in the US.
How was your trip to Florida?
Florida was nice. The trip to Ohio was nice too. The Ohio trip.
That's better. I was so bunged up. I was like trying to talk and I couldn't breathe through the nose.
Paul's your number one hype man, James.
I just appreciate your politeness, James.
He's like he's so polite. He said he had to blow his nose. I'm like, everybody does that. Like
not everybody.
Not everybody.
Some people just
I asked you what you did for legs today because me and Paul got to train legs later. So
yeah.
So I do quads separate than hams.
Yeah.
So I just did SBB, so safety bar squat.
Yeah.
I did leg extensions.
Yeah.
Did hack squat.
Yeah.
Adductor and calves. Seated donkey calf raises.
Not in that order though.
Yeah, in order.
Oh, you started
with squats?
Yeah, I always start with squats. I like to because I feel like mobilizing the hip and knee simultaneously is the best way to warm up for legs.
Oh yeah,
that's just my because I feel like
actually know what, Paul. That's something we did that when
you probably do leg press first sometimes.
We've done that too sometimes. Yeah.
Did we used to start with like a lying ham curl or something first? So did we?
Well, yeah. So if I train legs as a whole, I would do that.
Yeah. After I started training with John, we started doing lying leg curls first because he felt like it was the best way to warm up the knee. Without putting any stressing on it. Yeah.
And John was also into like warming up your glutes too, right?
John also thought that squatting, which I mean is true, is largely hamstring.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So he felt like if you got your hamstrings activated before going into your squat, you'd get more spring out of the hole with your squat.
Yeah. That might be why, in all honesty, because I'm doing a squat day, like a squat day and then a hamstring day.
Yeah.
That might be why those pictures, like you said, the hamstrings looking more prominent.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
because there's a lot of work on the squat day.
Yeah,
and I also train them now individually, so that could be responsible.
Is this the first time you've ever split them like that?
No, I have before, but I never had it down to a T as much as now. Like I feel like this is the best amount of volume. Like 4 and 4 exercises seems like enough. Because I take forever in the gym. Honestly, I was in there for over an hour and a half just to get into my working set on squats.
Oh wow!
How long was your whole workout? Probably
about 2.5-3 hours.
Oh fuck, geez.
Yeah. It's long. I was there from 12:30. But I didn't start probably till about 1, and then I finished at like 3:30. So
Wow.
no, it's only that's only like just
Two and a
about 3
half,
hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, so 2.5 hours. It's not as long as I thought.
3
But that's
exercises.
still long, man. Like me and Paul on a leg day, even if we're doing hamstrings and quads, are done in an hour and a half.
Yeah, an hour and a half.
It's the squatting. It's how long it takes me to get.
Because you
because I don't want to. I don't want to under warm up. So like I'll do no weight for like 3 sets. I'll do 1 plate for 3 sets, 4 plates. I literally go up so slow. Yeah, I go up so slowly, man.
Yeah.
And then so it's distinctive for you. Then when you know that.
Yeah, man. And then when I'm ready, I'll get to what I'll do is I'll get to a weight where I'm like, I'll actually go up to a weight that I can do for like 1 or 2 nice like heavy ones that takes quite a lot of my effort, and then I'll strip a bit off, and then I'll do my set.
Oh, okay.
So I always feel something heavier than what I'm going to do.
So you might do. So if your top set is 7 plates or 6 plates, you might get
I feel 8.
You might go up to 8 for 1 or 2 and then go back.
Yeah. So last week I felt 8, and then I'd work with like say 7 or 6. Typically I've been working on this because it's a new bar. I've been working sets of like 6 plate because it's fucking hard.
You listening to this shit, Paul?
Jeez,
he's like, yeah, I'll go up to 8 for 1 or 2.
I'm like 1.25, 2, 2.25. Max out around 3, maybe.
It's just, you know what? I'm just enjoying my training as well and doing what I like. It hasn't harmed me at all by doing, like, if anything, my legs look bigger from doing a bit less.
Yeah.
We should try it again, Fouad. We should try that again.
Try what again?
Like that style of training again. Just, give it a try for a bit.
What do you mean? Split the legs up?
Well, no, like progressive training, like James does.
Paul.
But I'm not always progressive.
James, can I tell you something? Paul's very, very, very heavily influenced by lots of different people. So Paul has this is funny, right? I said this to him in the gym the other day.
Go on.
Paul has a lot of respect for pro bodybuilders. So when he's on the podcast, here's James or here's Justin or here's Ben or he's like,
we should try that.
He's like, oh, we should try that. And I'm like, Paul, we've been training for 30 fucking years, man. I'm like, we already know what works for us. Like, we don't have to like all of a sudden you're 50 years old. You want to try progressive overload?
I think we can still get better, Fouad.
There's still more in the tank, man.
Yeah,
oh, man.
Yeah.
No, the intensity will always be there. But personally, for me, I mean, Paul, you can do it if you want. Personally, for me, I know what my joints feel like and what my tendons feel like, and I know I'm never going to squat 5 plates again.
Well, see, I'm just sitting here talking shit. When I actually get in the gym and I feel all my aches and pains, I'm sure I would change my mind fast too.
Yeah, you'll have the paper plan, and you'll be like,
"This would have been interesting." No, but this would have been interesting to try. Like, I was watching one of my old back videos the other day just because I was like having a moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I fucking used to train fucking heavy. Like I was doing 4-plate rows and I was doing 7-plate or 8-plate T-bar rows. And I was doing like, every movement was pretty heavy, but, and with high volume. And I'm like, you just can't, it would have been nice to be able to do what James is doing when I was 30.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the aches and pains. You just go in, like I used to, I have gone into the gym and just started with squats or started with leg press. But now
later you can't do that shit.
I got to start with an isolation movement now. So now I'll start with like a leg extension or something like that.
Yeah.
But,
squats got to be near the end.
I still have a lot of fun training, but I just know my limits now. Like I know what my body can and can't do. So
yeah,
it's fair enough, man. It's just all it is being willing to adjust, isn't it, to the times?
Well, I did say to Paul the other day, I said, I think I do for the first time ever may want to start keeping a logbook.
Okay.
Because even though my weights will never be huge, I would like to kind of just measure them out and see how things are going.
Yeah. Especially for like even just to the point of at least maintenance.
Yeah.
To know that you're not regressing.
Well, that's all we're doing. We're just I'm trying to actively lose weight, but I don't want to lose a ton of muscle.
At the cost of
you can't gauge your progress by size anymore, Fouad. So you're gonna have to gauge it somewhere else.
Yeah, true.
I think
performance.
Performance.
You can now gauge it by performance, like you say.
Right.
I look forward to a time in my life where that's like what I do instead of having to worry about this fucking how I look.
It's like the grass is always greener, I think,
Yeah.
But then
on the other side, you're like, oh, I wish I fucking was
right.
Okay, so I don't want to sound negative at all, but I want to just I was talking to Paul about something yesterday. Ben, I'm glad to have you back. I was talking to Paul about something yesterday. My wife said to me, we went on a road trip on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And on the way home, she says to me, she goes, for the first time in our life together, I feel like you're actually living your life.
Yeah.
And I said, what? I said, it's funny you said that. I said, this is the first time in my life I actually feel like that.
Yeah.
And I thought back to the conversation me and you had, James, on the podcast about feeling trapped and how I was happy being a bodybuilder. I don't regret a single day of it. And I'm very proud of what I've done in bodybuilding. But at the same time, it's all a fucking blur because I was in this box. Like I couldn't do anything. It was just eating, training, the next show, the next off season, the next, like it was all like life didn't even exist.
No, that's why your motto though is very important. It's the whole sacrifice without regret, because during bodybuilding, it's a massive sacrifice. Yeah. And you don't see it until after. Like I have these thoughts every day, Fouad. Like every day, I'm like, there's other shit I love and do, but right now isn't the time, because we've come so far in something, we haven't got everything out of this that we can have.
That's true.
You know, whether it's from a business standpoint or actually just stage success. You know, we're in this to try and propel ourselves to a place where later in life or the next place is able to be held up by our achievements thus far. So we don't want to give up now just in case we miss out on something that allows us to have a greater future.
Well, I think it's important to, when you do something and you give your whole body to it, your whole mind to it, and like your whole life to it, I think it's important to see it through to its limit.
Absolutely.
So for me, and if you don't see it through to its limit, a lot of times you're left with regret or left with some type of sadness about it. So the reason I think I'm okay is because I saw my career through to its limit. Yes. I won a couple of shows. I know I was never going to be like an Arnold champion or an Olympia champion. Like I got everything out of bodybuilding that I wanted to get out of it.
Yeah.
So even though it's still like in a transition phase and it sucks retiring, I'm not upset about any of it or like feel like I'm missing out on anything. Like I got everything I wanted from the sport.
Yeah.
So I think, and you're in a place now where there's still so much more for you to do. You could never walk away from it because you'd be left with these what ifs.
Yeah, I feel like there's more. I can eke out a bit more. I don't know how much, but there's, like I say, I haven't brought my best, and that's what keeps me going.
Yeah. Because
I'm at an age where there's no excuse not to be my best.
That's right.
You know, fair enough. Once I'm in my late 30s, I hit my 40s, and you know, you start to notice you're not feeling or looking the same. Then that's just coming down to your acceptance of the time and being able to move on. You know, without the regrets. Like I just like say, don't want to regret. I sometimes want, like, of course, like sometimes I sit there and I'm like, fucking hell, this is a chore. Like what we're doing, like I was in the gym today and I'm having a laugh with some people. And I'm like, why the fuck do we do this? And I'm like, I understand why you do this actually, because you've been doing it for 5 years. I've been doing this for like fucking 20. I'm fucking wound up. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, you got to like say you got to see things through, haven't you?
I think it's almost like it's not even about placings. It's just about your best. Like, I know 2015 was probably the best version of what I was going to be. So I'm like, okay, that's why it's okay for me to walk away. But I guess the further point I was trying to get to was, man, you get so enclosed in this lifestyle that you forget everything. And now I'm out, like, I asked her, I said, why do you think I'm living my life? She's like, well, you take the dog to the park every day. And well, it's these really, really small things.
Yeah, but they're living.
Yeah.
Like freedom of choice of what shall I do today? Yeah. Like, not like say, I always use the word shackled, but not shackled by
that's the word I was looking for. Shackled.
Yeah.
That's it, Paul.
Yeah.
Shackled.
Shackled is better than trapped.
Because like you're carrying, having to eat every fucking 2 hours. Like people might think that sounds pretty attractive and easy, but it's real. Like when I got up to London, for example, like I get on a train going to the city, I would fucking love for a day where I don't have to take a fucking packed lunch with me.
Yeah.
But it ain't like that in a minute. And you have to just accept that. But the time when it's not like that, I can't wait for sure.
But it's not to me, it's not even like, I know people are going to go watch and go, oh, so it's hard to eat every 2 hours. For me, it's really hard to explain. Okay. Anybody watching this who's done anything and given their entire self to it, doesn't matter if it's bodybuilding, could be a business, could be your schooling, could be like whatever the fuck it is that you're into, that you're giving your entire being to. Not like, oh, I like it, it's a hobby. I mean, like giving your entire
like everything fucking thing.
It doesn't matter. It's not about the meals, it's not about the training. Your mind.
It's the mind.
Your mind is constantly just focused on this one thing. And it's just, you're not able to even comprehend anything else in the day or anybody else's time or anybody else's.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben.
I have such a lack, and I'm not even at your level, right? What you guys were at. Such a lack of consideration for the people close to me.
Yeah.
every now and then I'll take a step back and I'm like, you're a cunt.
Yeah.
Really are a cunt. And like, that's where, you know, we were having this debate about like when I should transition out, because that sounds weird. When I should retire, because I don't feel like I reached anywhere near a pinnacle, but I have so much more going on in my life that I'm neglecting.
Yeah.
Forget me, forget the health argument, forget all that shit. Right? I don't want to regret missing out. If I'm a pro and I'm like, oh, I could win a pro show and maybe qualify for the Olympiad, a different story, argument. So where James is at, right? James and I we're the same age, but at two different points in our life, right? James, I'm like, if I'm where James is, I'm like, fuck everyone else.
Full speed ahead.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. I'm at that point where I'm like, and I see a lot of guys getting into their 30s.
Hi, Annika.
Hey, Annika. Getting into that mid 30s, late 30s, and they're still chasing that golden egg just to win an overall at a state show or just to, and then I'm like, your wife, man, like your wife, your kids, you're this or you're that. And I'm like, it's very difficult to tell someone not to do that because it's so deep in here. Like
it's a personal decision.
We said it with Roman last week. He's like, I just love it. I just I don't know anything else.
Yeah.
And it's just
it's for me.
Some guys can combine it though better than others. Like I couldn't do it.
Yeah, some can.
I can't.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Do not do balance.
Like we talked about before. I can't think of someone off the top of my head right now, but you'll see like a pro bodybuilder getting ready for a show, be 2 weeks out, and take his kids out for ice cream on Instagram.
Cedric did that.
Cedric, I could never do that.
But and I just want to say this big but. That's where I'm talking about the mind. I went to the mall with my wife.
But you're not in it.
I took my wife to Niagara Falls. I did vacations, but like your fucking mind is always like, but where's my next meal? Is this hurting my career? Am I doing something wrong? Should I be back at home sleeping? Like you can never really release and enjoy other people and their time.
Do you think Cedric was like that too when he was having those moments with his kids and that?
I mean, maybe, but even if he wasn't completely missing, he's not fully in, because he just I don't think you can be fully in two places.
You have to be a really mentally strong person, right? To be able to you'd have to be pretty blessed mentally to be able to do that.
It's just everything that we're saying now just resonates like incredibly, because like you say, I can, that's why I don't go to Norway as much as I should, because I go there and I'm not there.
I'm
not there. I'm like, where's my food? Where's my fucking stuff? Like,
you say, you say as well, like you go through the motions of I'll attend whatever, I'll go to just like here and there. You can't help but think this is suboptimal for my goal over here. Like it is okay, I'm doing it over here, but I'm taking away from the real.
There's a guilt. There's a guilt. That comes with it. Yeah.
It's like bodybuilding is your bitch. Like it's your bird. Like you're doing something wrong to her. It's like you know what I mean. It's like but do you know what I mean? Like she don't. Like it's like she's upset if you're not fully thinking about or committed.
And so because like Fred's right, because you have that like guilt, like I shouldn't be doing this. You don't enjoy being at the cinema, being with the kids, because you don't fully, you're not present, you're not fully there.
And not only that, the person that you're with knows
they know exactly how you feel. They know you're not with them. They're like, you're not even in the room. You're not even in the fucking room.
If you could fake it, great. But if you can't.
Yeah. So anyway, I just
that's what I meant though. But that's what
we're very lucky. I mean, all four of us have women that understand, but by understanding what they are doing is facilitating that fucking obsession, you know? Like Denise, even now, Denise is constantly like, what do you need? Can I get you anything? We're going to go here. She goes, I got all this ready for you so you don't have to worry. And I'm like,
that's cool.
God, I feel like
a baby.
Such a burden. I feel like such a she has to get Phoenix's bag ready and then she gets my shit ready for me.
But you know what? On them, Phoenix in bed. You know what? Saying that, Ben, that's why sometimes, without trying to be an arsehole to Yannicka, sometimes I feel like the best thing is for us. Like it sounds terrible, and I've said it to her. Like I'm like, maybe I'm no good for you, because I feel like they're not living their best life while we're bodybuilding, because we're not able to be, like you say, absolutely present and give them the best of their time.
I've had moments recently where I've been laying there and been like, someone else would be treating her better right now.
Okay, wait, but I think
You know?
in their minds it's an investment. They're like, I know this person, I know this person is busy with their life, but I know at some point this person is not going to be busy with this life, and it's going to be a different life. And I tell you, the reason the reason I say that is because I've literally said to Summer on many occasions when I was prepping or when I was in off season or whatever,
one day it'll be worth it.
Hey, I know this isn't great for you, but I promise you there'll come a time where life is more about you than it is about me.
Yeah.
And that's now. So like, it's just people take a turn, right? Like this is what you do when you love somebody. You love somebody, you're giving them it's their turn. And then someday it'll be the other person's turn.
Yeah, true.
But I do know what James means, where sometimes you're like, the single life,
you don't hurt
nobody. Have that.
Oh, I get it.
You don't have that weight where you're like,
no guilt.
They're suffering because of what I want to do.
Yeah. You were going to say something, Paul. Go ahead.
When I competed, I never had a relationship. I don't think I could have maintained one, because the last month or two before a show, I would go into like, you know, locked out. I worked midnights on purpose on work, so I don't have to see anybody. I would try to train at times when the gym wasn't as busy, you know.
My problem isn't even during the prep, because I mean, it helps that Denise is a pro. Like, she understands here in a prep. She has an issue when I'm not in a prep and I'm still being, and she's like, does it need to be this? I'm like, yeah, it needs to be.
But that's why
she's very much like, she'll get into a prep and then she'll step away and she'll have some distance from it. I'm like, I'm in the off season. All that's different is the size of my meals. There's no difference.
There's that's why I say, like, when I think of my bodybuilding career, it's 20 years of a blur, because it doesn't matter if you're dieting or if you're off season, the mentality is the same every fucking day.
Yeah,
you can't miss a meal.
So anyway, I didn't want to. Like I said, for people watching,
we're not saying bodybuilding is terrible.
Yeah, I still love bodybuilding. I don't think it's. I just want people to understand. I don't think it's bodybuilding. I think it's passion
and our ability to.
If you have.
Cope sometimes is a bit
if you have a passion and a 100% commitment to anything, you're going to feel the way we're talking about.
We do. Yeah.
It's not about bodybuilding. It's just about commitment to your passion and what it will take from your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyway, another topic I wanted to ask you guys about, because I posted it yesterday and I took it down because I feel like it's a longer, more nuanced conversation, is somebody posted a Twitter post and I saw it and it said, make sure you surround yourself with like-minded people if you want to be successful or something like that. And then it said, I became friends with millionaires and now I'm the next millionaire.
I don't know if that's very true, mate.
Yeah. And I'm like, and it really fucking irritated me because I'm like,
it's like you're leeching.
But then I thought about it. So it irritated me at first, and I wrote a long thing, and people were like, "Yeah, right on." And then I thought about it for a second. So I'm like, it's kind of two sides of it. I do think if you have a circle of friends that's very ambitious and very successful, you're going to create more networking, more contacts. You're going to be better at whatever it is that circle of friends is doing.
Of course.
My irritation came from the fact that it's said so often that I think people who don't have that circle of friends use it as an excuse to not be the best they can be. So the way I mean it is like, okay, Ben's training in fucking Weatherford in his own gym with no other fucking pros around and still killing it, still getting better, still doing his thing, right? Dorian Yates trained in a fucking basement in Britain when no real great British pros were part of the IFBB. I trained in Windsor, it was from Canada. Nobody here was a pro. I didn't know any fucking pros, and I still made it to the pro. So I'm just saying, like, you can create your own destiny. You don't have to be like, just because I don't have a circle of pros, I can never be a pro, or I don't have a circle of millionaires, so I can never be a millionaire.
No, of course.
So I'm on that bandwagon of like, surround yourself with people, but it's not necessarily like what they are.
Yeah.
It's more what their mindset is.
Okay.
If they could be a lawyer, a doctor, or they could be anything, but it just has this like, I feel like, because being where I am as well, I'm surrounded by a lot of very old people, or just people that are always just going to live where we are. And I find it stifling. And I have to, when I'm around, like when we're at the Arnold, and then I'm around, like if I go down to Houston, I train with Hunter and those guys, or I'm around James, I'm just like, this mentality is infectious. So yes, I have that mentality, but it boosts my own even to another level.
Yeah, when you're in proximity.
So yeah, I can grit my teeth and go out there every day, but a lot of times it's a grind. And then I'm like, you know, harping on about 2017. I'm like, it wasn't even a grind because Luke and I just did. We just carried each other, and it was like there'd be times where I'd be like, man, I don't want to, or he'd be like, man, I don't want to.
But obviously, like,
you just bring each other up.
Okay,
so it's more in the moments when we're all human. We all have those moments where we're like, I don't know, I'm doubting, whatever. And that's where, if I'm surrounded by people that are also doing their thing, it doesn't have to be bodybuilding, it doesn't have to be pros, they're just doing their thing. I look around and I'm going, okay, all right, fuck it, me too.
Okay, so that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I do agree with that. And that's why I felt like I should take my post down, because I'm like, you can be better if you have a circle of support or people that are as ambitious as you, or whatever it is that gives you that fire, right? It can be very beneficial. So I felt like my statement was probably a little too harsh the other way. But the point I was trying to make is this. Like, so I have a friend who makes an average salary, doesn't care, doesn't own a lot of expensive things, he doesn't, literally none of it matters. He's not a very ambitious person, doesn't really care about getting way ahead in life or anything like that. He's just happy with what he has, and that's good enough. So me and him are complete opposites. But I don't need to be like, well, that guy doesn't have my mindset, so I don't want to surround myself with him. I'm cool. I'm cool. Yeah. He can have that mindset. He can be like, I'm happy just having this home and this amount of money, and this is cool. And I don't care if I ever make X dollars or ever have a great position in life. I'm content.
Yeah, my man's blessed by being alive.
Yeah, and I'm and I'm the opposite. I'm like, I'm always want to be better, always want more, always want this, always want that. But I feel like you don't have to not be friends with those people or not have those people in your circle just because they don't have your mentality. You can still be great in your own way and still have them there.
I think that's different though. I think if you don't naturally have that mentality and you're surrounded by a bunch of people that don't have that mentality and you're not happy in your situation, you're treading water.
No, but that's what I mean. It's up here, right? So if you don't have that mentality, I also don't think surrounding yourself with a bunch of people that have them is going to make you.
I think that would do. I think that would bridge the gap.
But it's
That's
fake.
What I'm saying.
It's fake because we had I'll tell you this. So we had a friend who was not like us. Started hanging out with us. Started working out. It's like gung ho. Want to compete. Want to do the whole thing. As soon as he stopped. As soon as he stopped hanging out with us, that all went away. So that you being successful in whatever endeavor you're coming to has to come from within. Well, and if you have other people around you,
he shouldn't have stopped hanging out with you. That proves the point.
No, but what I'm saying is that you can't rely on others. It's helpful to have a group, but you can't rely on it. That's all I guess my point is.
I think the whole saying gets misunderstood to mean, like, some people think it means if I want to be, success, whatever, however you measure success, wealth, whatever. If I want to be wealthy, then I got to hang around wealthy people. I don't think it's what it's meant to mean, that saying. I think it's more, you align yourself with people who think like you as far as your values and morals and ideologies go, but not necessarily your goals.
That's how they should write that post. That's the problem. It's because the post is being
Maybe that's why,
the way that they put the post out, because I've seen the same sort of posts. Their wording actually is shit. Like they need to word it. They need to word it how Paul just worded it, because that actually makes a lot more fucking sense. It's okay to write, like, you can do a post with a full sentence here. It doesn't have to be like very minimal words, because that's just nonsense. Because like I say, being around people that are creative, motivated and animated in a certain way, whether it be whatever that or that, it's never a bad thing. But at the same time, it doesn't mean just because one of the circle might not have that attribute that they shouldn't be involved. Around
that's
them.
what I mean.
I don't think
I got friends that like less. I got friends that they value the lesser things so much. That some things I wouldn't even consider valuable. But I'm not like a materialistic person. So it just goes to show it doesn't fucking matter.
I think Paul's right. Maybe I misconstrued the post.
No, they wrote the post wrong.
Or maybe they wrote the post
wrong. It's not you.
The
post is done shit.
Because I just feel like the way the post comes off is like
Don't hang around with people if they're not
if
fucking,
one of your people is not fucking pulling their weight,
Bin
then
'em.
drop them.
Yeah,
Like,
that's not right.
It sounds fucked up. Like
You shouldn't base your friends on whatever their economic status is, or
it could be.
but even their ambition, but even their ambition, even mentally, even their ambition. What if somebody doesn't have ambition to be
because
great? I don't care. That doesn't,
happiness is different to them than it is.
But there are some people I find that are leaked, like energy drains.
well, you don't want that
right?
either. I agree.
No,
That's what I mean. So like, don't just be everyone's friend just because. Some people, I'm like, look, we're supposed to be friends, but it's a very one-sided because all I'm doing is dealing with your shit.
Yeah. I'm not saying that at all.
That's
You're right.
a different. That's bringing you down this way, and you can change that.
I do think it's very valuable to eliminate people from your life that are negative or pull you down in any way.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%.
For sure.
So, all right. I just wanted to clarify that real quick. Okay. Got a little bit of time. You guys want to do some questions?
Yeah.
Oh shit, we didn't even get onto questions. We said questions however long ago.
Could Flex Lewis be a contender for the top 5 in the Open at the O without the weight limit?
Top 5, yeah, I think so. Top 5.
I don't know, man. That's tough.
It's hard to say now. He's been away for a couple of years.
I don't think it's that. I just feel like
Onak's in the top 6.
I think Prime Flex Lewis could be top 5.
That's true. Is Luke Flex Lewis better than William Bonac?
Historically.
But if you look at like Nick's top 5, yeah, and Flex's top 5, and I think they're both fucking amazing. But I think like they're kind of got similar. There's a lot of similarities. I know there's a lot of differences. I'm not trying to say they look fucking same, but the quality of muscle and stuff is all there.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying they got the same fucking physique.
Well, the way I look at it is Flex beat Hottie, and I don't want all the Hottie hate, all Hottie fans to freak out. But I'm just saying Flex beat Hottie, and Hottie was third.
Yeah,
good point.
At the Olympia. So
and Bonac was never beat Flex, right? Or not at Olympia.
Have they competed against each other?
When did they compete against each other?
only when Bonac was 212 back in the
Oh
day.
yeah,
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Bonac was a 212 guy. Well, Adi was a 212 guy. Flex.
Yeah.
It's just whether Flex. It's whether Flex would want to be an open guy with that discomfort of getting up to that weight.
But I thought that's what he
Here's
was
the
doing.
thing. No.
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know.
But even if he doesn't like force it. Say Flex, that picture that he did with Neil Hill is like he's supposed to be 225 in that picture. Right?
That's when he looks really nuts, isn't it? Round about that way.
Yeah. And I'm like, if he walked on at 225, he's not going to get blown out of the water.
No, because he's short, so it's all relative.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can be top 5. I think he can be top 5.
You think he'll get the invite?
Yeah.
If he wants it, I think he would get it.
Yeah,
he should.
Should.
Most time you've ever spent at the gym in one session?
About 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours, yeah.
Fucking hours.
Really?
What are you doing for 5?
Fucking resting in between sets.
Take a dump, have a meal. I can sit around like this.
Fuck those. But I'm like Ben. I need a long rest sometimes.
Yeah,
I gotta work out. I got
stuck in
Not me. 2 hours.
Stuck in the gym from the start of the session to the end of the session. Luke and I have had some long fucking days in there.
Really?
And that's because bless Luke. Luke's not the fastest of fucking people to train with. I'll say that now. Fuck.
Oh, Fouad and Luke training together would have just been hilarious. It just wouldn't have worked.
Getting started was hard enough, wasn't it, Ben? Getting started is hard enough.
God. Yeah.
When I come down to, so I'm going to be in Texas in April for Branch's show in Fort Worth. When I come down, Ben, we'll do one of your training sessions, and we'll take as long as you want, and I'll see if I can handle it. I'm probably going to fall asleep at some point.
Yeah, you can run a podcast in between sets.
In between sets, yeah. If you can go back and compete in a show you thought about doing but didn't, what show would it be? Oh, fuck, there were so many. In 2016, in 2015, I beat Michael Lockett in Orlando. And then in 2016, I don't know why I took the year off or something. I don't remember why I waited, but Michael Lockett won like 4 shows that year.
Well, fuck.
Every time he competed, I was like, fuck, I could have beat him in 1 more shows.
I should have done Romania. I feel like I should have done Romania the year that I won the British. There was Romania like a week later, which Regan won. Yeah. Because Angel, the fucking 212, did that and won all 3.
Oh.
And I feel like maybe I should have just done it and tried to get the trifecta, you know?
I thought you should have done one this year.
I thought so too.
I should have done Little Feeler.
Yeah.
I know now, this is how I feel now. And I should have done, if I could have got to America, I should have done the Olympia the first year I qualified.
No. But I mean, like this year at the Olympia, you obviously over dieted, but then when you were filling back out, you started to look good, like pretty quickly. And then there was some.
I was itching for him to do.
Yeah.
I was close. I was speaking to Ben about Legion. I was like, and then I was like,
because I thought to myself, I'm like, man, if James jumps in, he could probably win this, and then he's got a whole year off again.
Yeah, get some momentum back again.
Yeah, I did. My head was like that, but then my head was also like, I have actually lost some tissue.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like,
but I do think in hindsight, you even losing some tissue would have still
been good.
Yeah.
That's the one Clarida won, right?
Yeah, I think so.
James, you reckon you could have beat
James? How bad would you feel? How bad would you feel if Sean beat you?
do you know, I wouldn't feel bad.
No offense to Sean, but just because James outweighs him by 80 pounds.
I actually am one of the people that wouldn't feel bad at all because Sean's nutty.
Oh, you see the most recent?
I was about to say the recent.
I saw
James, do you think you would have beaten him at Legion last year?
Not how I was looking.
That's what I mean.
It's very hard to beat Sean because that guy's won an Olympia title. I don't think people understand. I think they don't get how complete he is for a short fella. Look at this
picture is fucking crazy.
That's ridiculous.
Who's beating that in the Open other than top 5?
Jeez.
Really?
It looks nutty. Like
where would he place in the actual
the lat?
Yeah. If he does the Open this year, where's he
gonna place?
This right here is just blowing my mind. It literally looks like he has wings. Like,
so where's that place in this Olympia? That's what I'm saying.
Man, standing by himself, he looks like he can fucking win. But when you put him next to guys that weigh.
Imagine if that was like 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I mean that's Ronnie Coleman proportions, almost better in some ways,
for sure.
Like these look like Ronnie. These look like Ronnie's legs.
His shoulder tricep lat is like the best.
Yeah,
in the front relax.
It's crazy, man. Incredible.
Is he talking about going open again this year?
It's possible.
He hasn't decided.
He's qualified for both.
Just do the fucking Open. More money, man.
I think he would have done the Open had he retained his 212 title. I think he'd be 100% do the Open.
Fuck the 212 off, bruv. Come to the big boys. Come on. Come on. You might as well go and win. Listen, if he gets 8th in the Open, he's winning more than
still gets more money
probably.
Yeah, right.
Come on. And the respect he'll get for being that high placed is going to be.
I don't see him outside the top 10.
I don't. That's why I said 8th.
Sure.
I said if he's even around 8th, he's fucking taking home a nice check.
Yeah.
Do it, sure.
If
he placed above Iain would be fucking furious.
He'd be the angriest man on the planet.
The most competitive person I know. For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said I have a beef with Iain. I don't know where the fuck this game. It's funny. Anytime somebody misses a podcast once or twice,
you've had beef with them.
I got a beef with them. That's it.
But today, so there's no Iain today. So you've obviously had a round.
Oh, must be a beef. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, he was on. We did the Boston Pro commentary together.
Yeah, you did.
And then he was on the week before. I'm like, I don't know what people want him on every episode. I think that's why.
The loyalists.
If you could compete against any former Mr. O, who would it be and why? And who of all the former Mr. O's do you think you could have beaten? I would have competed against Eric Dickerson because is it Eric? No, that's a running back. What's Chris Dickerson?
Eric. He would beat Eric because he wasn't even big.
He wasn't even up yet.
Chris Dickerson because I think I could beat him. That's fine.
Yeah.
How about Samir Banu?
I could beat.
No, he was good.
You can.
Samir was really good.
I could beat Samir.
I think you could beat Samir.
Samir was like 195 pounds.
I'm not cussing you. He had a really good back, didn't he? Samir.
How about Frank Zane? Think you could beat Frank Zane?
Oh, I smoked Frank. He's getting smoked.
Smoked Frank.
That's it. Yeah, blow and he'll fall off.
What do you think would happen? Just it'd be really fucking hilarious. If what Olympia did he win? 79 or 80? 80, I think.
Won a
right?
couple, didn't he? Won a couple.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say they all walk out and James walks out.
Oh my god!
Does James get?
At least I can win then.
No. Let me think about the experience. Let's say he goes back in time, and James walks out with the crew. Are the judges like, that's disgusting, you lose, or are they like, holy fuck, look at this person, he's the greatest of all time?
Interesting to see what they would do.
Oh, please make me the greatest.
Because I'm thinking to myself, like, if
imagine that pumping iron. No, imagine the pumping iron one where he walks out with Arnold next to Arnold.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Well, I will literally create a time machine to do this.
James, who would you compete against?
Oh, it's early year, isn't it? You got because they're all like, they're only on D-Bowl.
Do you think you could beat? You think you could beat Lee Haney?
No, I don't think I could. So I reckon I'd still give it to him.
I think you give Lee a run just because the leg balance.
Yeah,
but
you'd be Arnold. You'd be Arnold.
I don't rate Arnold's the lower body back in the day because it weren't necessary to have one.
That's right.
But you know, if you had to train with them, it'd probably be different. But yeah, I don't know. No,
I wonder.
Listen, I'm not going to give myself credit against any of these guys. They've all won Olympians. I can't fucking.
I wonder what James would look like next to Lee Haney.
You really want to see
two drastically different physiques, like.
Yeah,
right. That guy won 8 Olympias, and wait, he won 8 Olympias and beat Dorian. So no, come on.
He had a beautiful physique.
He beat Dorian.
Yeah.
But he beat a
small Dorian.
But a good Dorian.
Could you beat Dorian 92?
Probably not. I'm not beating any Dorian. I don't think I'm even beating 97, bro, with one arm.
With one arm?
Yeah, I'm not beating one arm 97. Fuck that.
All right. Salt and electrolyte intake, type of salt, etc. What?
Yes.
I always find that weird. Do you know what I do? I just salt all my meals and I eat a couple of bananas a day, and that's me sorted.
I salt all my meals, and we have electrolyte blends in our supplements. So
you've got stuff, you have you got like
it's funny. I don't know why people add salt. Like people add salt to the pre-workout. I'm like, we've
got it in it.
Yeah,
we purposely put sodium in it.
Yeah,
already.
It's in a lot of them now. Yeah.
Better pumps.
Who would be champ in the IFBB in an MMA league? Is there anybody in MMA? Is there anybody in the IFBB that actually does
probably a couple
any type of MMA?
Wasn't Flex Wheeler black belt when he was in his prime?
Yeah, but that was like Taekwondo.
Yeah, that was like kicky stuff, wasn't it? That's
that's still better than nothing.
That's not ground and pound. That ain't ground and pound, bro.
Is it better?
No, we've had this conversation before because
Michael Lockett was a boxer.
Patrick Moore was a boxer, right?
That's right. That's right.
I think a lot of people have boxed.
Were any IFBB pros wrestlers? Because I think they would do better.
That's the best. Derek Lunsford.
Oh, was he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was like pretty good as well.
No. When athletes from another sport, no.
I'm now interested in like throwing everybody in the Olympia in an octagon and seeing what happens.
Throwing everybody in Olympia to what?
In the octagon and just seeing what happens. Just all start tearing each other up. Just who's going to win? Like, who's the softest bastard out of everybody, and who's the fucking most?
I think William would do well.
Yeah. I think William would do. He's a bit of a gangster. Fuck that.
Yeah,
I'll run away from him.
James would do well. I think Ian will hold his own.
I'll stand on the side of the octagon and do like elbows off the top.
I'm trying to think of who would just be not involved at all.
Regan.
I feel like Regan's a very confrontational.
Guys.
Yeah, everybody calm down a bit.
Yeah, I can see Brandon.
I think Rami's pretty chill. I don't think Rami would get too.
I think Rami's like, if you fuck with him, he'll smash you.
Do you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Just like this.
I think Rami's the kind of guy that's like, he's super nice to everybody, but like if you fuck with his family, he would just squash you. Like you just like, then you'd be done. So
now I'm thinking like next way we could do this is, like we used to play Street Fighter, like Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Like imagine if we had everybody from the Olympia on the Street Fighter, like
a tournament, like a tournament,
like Mortal Kombat.
So if you had them all like Mortal Kombat, who would you pick?
Wait, no. The biggest question is this: if it was more, who would be the big boss?
Jim Mannion.
Boss as well.
Jim Mannion.
Yeah. It's got to be some like.
He'd be the final boss.
Steve Weinberger, because he's a.
Yeah, I reckon. No, Weinberger would be the one beneath the final boss. He'd be like the first.
I feel like it's got to be like a legend, a bodybuilder of legend, like someone who's like, I don't know.
No, man, Jim Mannion runs the whole show. He's the big boss.
Yeah, but what about the physicality?
He's the one stroking the cat.
Yeah, he's
you know how like in Mortal Kombat, there's like the first bad boss, and then there's like the real.
Yeah, you've got Goro, and then you've got Shang Tsung.
Yeah, so it's like Jake Wood, and then like Steve Weinberger.
Oh, that would be funny.
Okay. How do open class bodybuilders manage to keep decent blood work and pressure all year round while competing 5 to 6 times on all those prep compounds? Example, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Are they?
A lot of the ones that do manage use a lot of supplements like fuck, what supplement does really good? Like red yeast extract, like keeping your like HDL kind of down if you possibly can. Cholesterol is a really big issue, isn't it, with bodybuilders at our weight?
I think blood pressure is the hardest thing.
I think blood pressure,
because it's once you get, first of all, once you add gear, blood pressure is going to go up, and then when you start gaining weight, you're adding your blood pressure goes up. Then with the amount of food you're eating, your blood pressure goes up. So it's like everything in bodybuilding contributes to high blood pressure. And
then when you sleep bad because your weight, your blood pressure goes really fucking up.
Yeah.
So none of us are doctors, so let's preface it with that. But I would say you get on a good blood pressure medication is the first thing. And then how do they keep their blood work in check? I don't know, man. The only thing I can say is making sure you're taking breaks and making sure you're not fucking eating a ton of garbage. I mean, Ben, do you have anything you want to contribute to this?
He's got a book full.
Ben, are you frozen or can you hear me?
It keeps freezing kind of now. I'm getting a piece of you.
Fuck. Okay.
I think you should work with your doctor too. Not a lot of people do that.
I think if you've got a good doctor, like we have Dr. Matt over here, who Ben knows, he's at Muscleworks. He will actually give you like an audio discussion on your bloods and say like what would help.
Yeah.
So he actually has understanding of blood work and will give you pointers, and then you can go away and kind of work on your.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue. Just talking to just talk to your doctor.
Most doctors won't.
It's not even that. Like doctors will know the ins and outs of things for general populations,
not bodybuilders.
And we are not general populations.
No, I agree with you. That's why
the muscle mass and the anabolics, their actual application of what things and the interactions is not.
That's the only reason I see Matt in it, Ben, because Ben he actually does strong men and bodybuilders only. Outside. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't go to a regular doctor for sure.
No, you got to find a good doctor for you.
That's why I'm trying to find a nephrologist that is handy with dealing with a bodybuilder.
Hard to find.
If anyone knows of a very good regarded nephrologist that can deal with bodybuilders, then please let me know.
Yeah, let Ben know so he can let me know so we can both be healthier. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That is perfect.
Yeah, it was a little.
Now I gotta cut that out now.
It wasn't disgusting. Don't worry, you're fine.
Do you think there is a way that IFBB could be more clear about what they want from the athletes? Not sure in what way that mean. You mean that?
I think they kind of they make it pretty apparent. They reward someone, and that look.
Hey, I had an idea. The other day.
Sure.
And I think the IFBB should strongly consider this.
Okay.
They should get rid of 2-day shows.
I don't like 2-day shows.
No,
it is extremely detrimental.
It's so hard on the body.
Someone's health. That's true.
Like, the reason it's so bad.
That's very true.
The reason I don't think they'll do that is because it's better for ticket sales.
Fuck yeah, I understand. I understand why they're doing it, but it's fucking horrific. Like if I'm trying to get a client, but it's like this is just.
If you're
what I want to be doing.
If you're the Arnold Classic or the Olympia, you're trying to maximize dollars. You got to get the big boys on the stage Friday night and Saturday night because people will buy tickets to watch both.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm telling you now, it's.
Can't they just charge double for the ticket and put it on one day?
From a health impact.
Because people won't buy that either.
Do pre-judging in the morning and in the evening, just do it at least on one day.
Yeah.
As competitors, what would you guys prefer, doing one show or pre-judging?
I'd rather fucking get on stage
one day.
They make a call out right there and then they fuck off the top.
Remember for a minute they were doing everything
run through
everything all in one.
That's what I like. That's why
I'm asking.
Because then you can tell your family when you're going to be ready to go out for dinner and eat some shit afterwards.
Right. So like a one-show format or the pre-judge finals traditional?
No. Me and Paul did it before for our show.
Yeah, last year.
Because we did it for different reasons, but I'd like to. I kind of want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's really nice, man. It's like
I'm wondering what the athletes prefer.
Listen, as far as promoters go, being completely transparent, it's actually better for us because we don't have to pay as much in venue fees and employee fees because their employees have to stay there all day, right? Because they're pre-judging that night show. If we have it all just once, they're there for 3 fucking hours and they all go home. We save money.
But here's the thing: if you do say the Arnold or the Olympia, you go, okay, we lose 2 days of ticket sales.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
put all the classic guys on the Friday night then, because Bumstead and
That's
those
big.
boys, they're going to bring in those boys, right?
Right.
Now,
right.
Saturday open boys come in.
Yeah.
But
let them
they
do
think
it.
of it, but they think of it like this. I want to get both demographics on both nights to sell more,
I understand.
to sell more
I
tickets.
do understand.
Yeah.
I do understand. I like for the business.
Saying
I'm
from an
telling
ideal,
you,
yeah.
from a straight health perspective.
Oh, I agree with you there. 100%.
Way worse.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
so bad for the athlete.
Yeah,
Being
yeah.
and I
dehydrated
just
for
think
2 days.
I think if the IFBB wanted to show some sort of acknowledgement to we want the guys to be as healthy as possible, condensing it into a one show event would be so much better.
Even with one show, you still kind of get 2 ticket sales with one show because you're going to have all your men's categories and then all your female categories or some type of structure like that.
Yeah,
so you're still going to get 2 different ticket sales out of it as a promoter.
Yeah. Okay. If you could have any body part of Ronnie Coleman, what would it be?
Back.
Legs. Arms. I'm taking arms.
I think arms because I'm quite happy with the rest of me.
I'd say arms because as I've retired, I've noticed it doesn't matter if you have big legs because you're wearing pants all the time. So I just want to have massive arms
Just
in my
massive
t-shirt.
arms.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, Coleman, if I could have had Coleman's arms, I'd be happy. I think I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
And I've also noticed in retirement, my arms have shrank more than anything else. So I'd just like to have massive arms forever.
Was that in retirement or was that before retirement and you just admit it?
No, my arms were good. Motherfucker, I had 23-inch arms at one point.
Yeah, but they started to get you started to get a bit of crank, like the tricep. And
After the tear.
nerve damage.
The tricep there. After the
Well,
tricep.
You had retired at that
Let's
point.
just say for
You're blaming it on retirement.
No. Let's just say for podcast purposes, my retirement was like 2017. My last show was 2017.
Okay,
So
right.
I pretty much retired fucking, 2 years ago at least. After the tricep surgery, arm size started to take a big shit.
Yeah. You didn't have a great surgery though.
Oh, I had a horrible surgery. When I look at Seth's arm,
Can't see it, can you?
or like Ken Jackson had 2 tricep tears,
Can't see him.
and you
You
can't even tell.
I
My
know.
arm looks like nobody even touched it. It just torn. It's just
I
like,
think we got shitty doctors in Canada.
yeah, we do. What? When do you no. Rank the guys on the podcast from cleanest to uncleanliest.
Like hygiene?
That's a hard one.
Well, what else would it be? It has to be hygiene.
Well,
I shower like 3 times a day, so I'm definitely the cleanest.
I shower twice.
I'm
I'm
at least
2.
twice. I'm at least twice.
I'm 2 in the winter, 3 in the summer.
I feel like Nick might not be hygienic. Not personally hygienic. I think
You mean
personally,
super hygienic.
I mean like in his house, like maybe he leaves the dishes out and shit.
Because he's young.
Because he's younger, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe he doesn't like, sweep and mop and shit.
I could see that.
And he lives alone, it's still a different.
Yeah.
Mm.
I could see that too.
But personal hygiene, I don't know. I don't think any of us like stink and shit. Like any of us like have bad hygiene.
I don't think I do.
I don't think so.
I don't think anyone thinks they have bad hygiene, though, do they? They wouldn't have bad hygiene.
No, I think
like I've been training with some stinky fuckers, and I'm like, hey man, you stink. Like, no, I don't. I'm like, you fucking do.
I know when I stink. Actually, just yesterday I said to
You
Paul,
stunk.
like,
Yesterday you stunk.
I'm like, do I stink?
Yeah, some days you get that.
You
don't
said I didn't stink. Now you're saying I do stink.
No, I didn't smell you. But you
Yeah.
said you said
I
you
said
stunk.
I
didn't
stunk.
smell it though. Yeah.
And then Paul said I didn't. So I'm hyper aware of like,
I'm super paranoid about it. I'm spraying and fucking showering.
I am a bit, but then I'm like, if I'm in the gym and it's just gone beyond the point and I'm halfway through a session, I'm like, fuck it.
if I'm in the gym, I don't care if I'm by myself. But if I'm training with somebody, I feel bad if I have bad breath or if I stink and they got to smell it.
You see,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It must be from my younger years where I'm like, you never know. So I'm like always, I'm fucking frozen. You get me? I'm like,
we
you
can
never,
hear you.
Oh,
can hear
okay.
you.
Yeah, I'm like, you never know. There might be some chick and she like in your little head fantasy. So I'm like, I gotta be prepared. I'm like, I'm clean, I'm shaving, I'm good to go.
I don't think like that. I think like Paul's spotting me on the fucking bench press and I'm breathing in his face. I don't want to fucking
What?
Do you know the worst is it's coffee breath when guys are like, and I'm like, God damn.
Paul, listen, hey, me and Paul used to train with this guy He like never like, I don't know if he just didn't do laundry or what. And he used to eat egg whites like all day long.
Yes.
So
I used to gag.
We would
I used to gag on leg day with him.
We would do leg press and he would be like, I'm like, you could smell his crotch and his breath and his feet. And I'm like, this is the fucking worst. It was like, dude, wash your clothes, change your socks,
I would call you afterwards like, fuck, he's I was gonna throw up on that leg press.
I hate that when it happens.
Yeah, especially on leg day.
All right, we'll do one more and then we'll go.
Okay.
Would you rather fight one big Rami-sized guy, Sister Nino, or 5 guys size?
Five guys.
Can't even finish the question. 5 guy, Sister Nino sized guys, or 1 Rami-sized guy.
5 guy size guys.
1 Rami-sized guy.
No, guy's a ball of energy.
One of them.
I would just kick him in the balls. If there's 5 fucking guy, Sister Ninos, it's going to be pretty hard to take him out.
Yeah,
no, you just flick them all in the head.
Find a mob. Find a little mob's quite hard.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, let's do one more good one. I see. All right, we'll do a serious one. I got to piss really bad. Maybe we should just go.
Wait. Hang on a second. If there was 5 guys Sister Ninos, you wouldn't have to fight them. They'd just be arguing amongst themselves.
Yeah, that's true. No, we'll get a word in.
What was that question? Where did it go? I see you guys adding oil to chicken breast meals often. Is it just so you can control the amount of fat in the meal as opposed to just using boneless, skinless thighs? Well, it's different fat. And yes, I want to know exactly how much fat I used.
Tastes fucking good. It's monounsaturated fat. Very good for, again, cholesterol, some polyunsaturated, but mostly mono. And it flavors the rice like fucking beautifully.
Yeah,
like olive oil and rice.
Use a little olive oil, yeah.
Oh, it's king. Yeah. It's king. I'm having that as my next meal.
Well, I mean, just as far as like Ben can attest to this, but it's a different fat and it's a better fat. Like you don't want to just because chicken thighs just saturated fat.
Just saturated fat, yeah.
And I want to.
It's both. It's both. You have the measure on it and the type of fats. It's both.
Yeah. And then the taste, like James says, is definitely a reason.
Well, I don't know. I do like, especially chicken.
Chicken thighs are delicious.
But if you get my mom used to make a roast chicken, and when she carved it, she'd take the skin off and leave it on the side for me, and I'd eat the chicken skin. Oh, so
Paul's
good.
Paul's gonna gag. He doesn't eat any chicken. He doesn't eat Paul doesn't eat any chicken on a bone. So he has never had dark meat chicken.
Oh, really?
No, I mean, I've had it. I've tried it. I don't like it though.
It's so good.
Remember we had a friend who we used to make fun of because he liked chicken skin so much. We used to like be like, hey, make a chicken skin sandwich. And then
he would make sandwiches. He would make sandwiches.
That's so good.
Just chicken skin.
No, I'd have the chicken breast and the skin. But when my mom used to make a roast, and she we'd all have chicken breast, and then I'd have the skin on the side, and I'd like.
Listen, so my favorite chicken is barbecue chicken thighs. Barbecue chicken thighs fucking is the greatest thing. You can't fuck them up on the barbecue. They're juicy.
Yeah.
So taste.
That's why.
Maybe you're a little wrong about taste, James.
No. I'm not saying it tastes better.
Yeah.
I said I do like the taste of olive oil.
The olive oil and rice is good.
Yeah, but listen, I like Nando's. Yeah, Nando's do boneless thighs. Yeah, and they got the skin on one side and then just the thigh meat under.
Nando's is
got the sauce.
Nando's is like a barbecue chicken restaurant. They have them in Toronto. We don't have them here.
Oh, they do. You got them up there.
What? Yeah, we have them. We have them when I lived in Toronto. We have.
They're very good.
I know they have them in Australia. I just didn't know they'd reached Canada as well.
That's where I would go there when I wanted something clean because I was like, where sometimes I don't want to cook. I'm like, where can I go and get something pretty good? So I just get like a chicken and rice.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Wait, so you? Can I tell everyone about the?
Don't
tell everybody.
Don't tell everyone.
What's going on here now?
Go ahead.
We had the pizza argument versus McDonald's, where you said to me,
the pizza McDonald's is healthier.
The McDonald's is healthier than pizza.
McDonald's is healthier than pizza. For sure. If you're bodybuilding and you're bulking, McDonald's is the way to go, not pizza.
More protein.
But to be fair, as a bodybuilder, I would choose McDonald's over pizza for
man.
my macros.
You eat chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken.
It's so
burgers.
shitty,
chicken. You get some chicken in there.
It's chicken. It's real chicken.
Kind of.
You got
cool chicken.
Potatoes. Fish.
Potatoes.
I get you.
See? Anyways, all right, boys. We'll catch you guys next week.
Indeed.
All right.
What
All
time
right,
of training?
fellas.
Pleasure.
What time we training?
Yeah. 4-ish.
I got to have a meal. Oh, actually, I already had this. I had my carbs and EAs. We're good.
You're all set. Eh? Go right
We're
now.
ready to go. See you in 20.
No, I got
the kids.
No, I got to have a meal. We'll go at like 3:34.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right.
I'll call you.
All right, boys.
Okay, see you guys.
Later. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hosstile and myself. And lastly, check out hosstile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.